And we are back, and the match is going to get underway in just a few minutes from now. We want to remind everybody of the bracket, who's playing, how they have done thus far. This is the fifth match of the opening round of the IM GM Speed Chess Championship. As you can see here, the 1, 2, 3, and 5 seeds, no upsets according to initial seeding. Vidit, question for you. We have this matchup ahead of us between IM Paehtz and Eric Rosen, the 6 versus the 11. Does the underdog by seed win? Is that Eric Rosen, or do we see IM Paehtz justify her seeding and defeat Eric Rosen in this match?
I've seen Ellie play in many of the over-the-board tournaments, and I know that she's a very strong player. I've seen like many 2700s like struggle to win against her. So I know that she can be a very tough opponent to beat. I've not seen much from Eric, to be honest, but I've seen him play like stream a lot. So I'm sure he has that advantage. Now it will be like a perfect clash. Like, does practice a lot help, or your over the board skills matter more? So it's a perfect day to find out.
Yeah, actually, this one is a pretty interesting toss-up by ratings online, because IM Paehtz is the higher rated of the two in classical chess by far, but Eric, as you said, better bullet player.
Yeah.
Ellie is probably better in Blitz, but it's going to come down, as we see the format here, 75 minutes of the 5-minute, 45 minutes of 3+1, and finally 25 minutes of bullet with that 1 second increment. And I think that makes a huge difference between regular bullet, when you are just down to the wire, you lose on time. Having that second increment is pretty big, especially for players who are not so experienced in the online format. So I do believe that increment helps IM Paehtz. It tends to help the higher rated player over the board. And so, Vid, I do think that should increase her chances as we get into speedy situations. But our daily question, and you're going to have to answer this as well, get involved with hashtag SpeedChess to all our viewers. Does streaming while playing chess have a negative or positive effect on your speed chess skills? So, Vidit, you are becoming a very popular streamer. You've just started and have a lot of viewers. You beat the heck out of me in our bullet match. So you can save your answer for later, or you can just give it now. What do you think about the impact streaming has in your chess?
When you ask for that, it reduces its impact. Yeah, so I'll spare you today. but I think for me, from my experience for the last week, like when I started out, it was very tough for me to look at the chat, talk, and play. But I got the hang of it like once I did like 2 or 3 sessions, and then I started to enjoy it. Because you're playing Blitz, you're interacting with the audience, and they're like supporting you. It feels awesome, to be honest. So for me, the answer is I don't think it has had any negative impact so far. It's just positive for me. So
but small sample
streaming
size
for the win.
Small sample size. You did win Title Tuesday, or sorry, you got second place.
Yeah, I came second. Yeah.
But 8 out of 9 is a phenomenal performance. And you were saying that usually you perform slightly below that. So clearly the streaming paid off in this case. And playing me in bullet, I think if we were off camera and just duking it out, I don't think you'd have that kind of score against me.
Yes,
the fans help you.
Yes. Also, like I usually play well in Vikenze or some place where there are so many people watching you. So it I think I'm that kind of a person. What about you? Do you think it helps?
I don't think it helps me. I
know you focus too much on the trash talk and then you forget about chess.
I do, but it's because I become the full commentator. So I look at this board, I'm looking at this closed Sicilian structure here, and then I just think about how I can explain that to the viewers. The next thing I know, I have 12 seconds left and I'm about to lose on time. But Vida, we have this opening in this first game here. I tend to like the closed Sicilian from the white side. I know I have bias because I grew up playing the closed Sicilian, but especially in these kind of variations where black has delayed the king movement. You can still castle queenside. It's a bit risky, but castling kingside as well. H3, G4 ideas, knight to G3 to follow. What do you think when you see a position like this?
I like black. Like I've been a Sicilian player since my childhood. Okay. And I always believed in black's counterplay. Okay. But I know there are people like who just play G4, Queen E1, would just throw the pieces, and it's a good skill in H5.
Oh, you didn't like that move. I could tell by your tone.
No, I didn't expect it. Actually, it looks cool. It looks cool. I like all cool moves. Even if it doesn't work, I like it, just for the record.
Yeah, and it takes away the G4 option, that expansion that white wants to have happen here, but it does loosen the G6 square, for instance. That may seem like, Robert, what are you talking about? G6 is hard to get to. But if I am able to get F5 and capture on E6, then the G6 square is a little bit loose. So those are the long-term things you consider here. And, Vid, let me ask you, Is that black king going queenside now because you played h5?
Not so easy, right? Like I would, yeah, you break with c3, d4, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the
I think,
essential question.
the king is really safe on e8 where it is right now.
Okay.
You just like, I wouldn't dare to go long castle immediately. At least I would wait until, there's further action.
Yeah, especially after c3, because you're always considering capturing on b4, rook c1, things like that. And I like what Ellie is doing here. By playing
Exactly.
a5, you give the bishop a new diagonal to work with bishop a6, but then you always think about c4 for white, because if that bishop leaves the a8, h1 long diagonal, at some moment c4 can be a consideration. Not yet, you're losing a pawn, but rook c1, c4 type of break. And then both sides are jockeying for a real plan because the position is so close. No pieces have been traded.
And the best thing about it is like the speed which she's playing.
Yeah,
she's playing fast. I like that. And when we spoke to her, it seemed like she was very in a casual mood, and that's good for Blitz actually. If you're super focused, you kind of like get low on time. When you're just like having fun and like you have the right balance, it's good. Mm-hmm. Although I don't understand queen b7. Looks weird to put the queen on the diagonal of g2, h1, a8.
Yeah, it does, but she's trying to at some point capture on c3 and take over the b file. So
I would just play c4, like you should consider it.
You have to consider it, but what if I just take it? What if I get greedy and say, let me steal your pawn on c4? Are you going to be able to take advantage of this diagonal quickly enough, or have you given me a pawn and are hoping for some kind of compensation?
Okay, it doesn't matter. Rook c1 played.
I love it. You're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But look what she does. She goes, I'm going for the end game. And now she for sure is castling kingside.
Queen d1.
Oh, you're trying to trap this queen?
Yeah.
Oh,
and rook b1 is a threat, so can't really do much.
So queen b3? What if I just keep trying to trade queen?
Rook c2? Rook c2?
Rook c2?
A bit ambitious, yeah?
Yeah, because rook c2, you give up control of the b file forever. I'll just castle kingside, and I guess you'll go g4 and try to mate me at some point, but it's a mixed bag of affairs at that point. So
yeah, she plays queen b3.
This d3 pawn is such an annoying weakness for white, because you always need to keep an eye on it with this bishop on a6.
Would you repeat, or would you go rook c2?
I would... Yeah, I don't really want to repeat because, it feels like early in the match, if the white pieces, you want to do something. He has gone queen d2.
Maybe you can put queen on e3. It looks weird, but you can do it.
That's true. You can hide on e3. And actually, I don't think Ellie will repeat here because her queen is improved from b7 to b3.
Oh, she does not. She's a g4.
Ambitious. f5 at some point, followed by a knight f4 jump. It's getting very aggressive for white here.
Very interesting game, I must admit, so far. Yeah.
Bishop g3 probably, just to protect e5 and then go for f5?
Or just go f5 directly? What do you think? It's too much. No, f5 you take on e5. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about, right? I take on e5 and d3 is under attack and g4 is under attack.
Bishop g3 played, yes.
Yeah, just
awesome.
Bishop g3 is making sure that you're not hanging anything. Queen b2 now. Yeah. So your queen e3 move it.
With black, I would get nervous at this moment.
Right.
Like f5 is very annoying. And the queen is also attacked. I really don't know what's happening.
And white has full control over the kingside. Look at this configuration of pieces. 2 knights and the bishops here with these menacing pawns. And black only has 1 rook on the h file that is staring into thin air. And rook c to b1, as you were pointing out, threatens to trap this queen on b2. It has no safe squares. And she repeats with queen to b3. Why is Eric avoiding queen d2 into e3? I believe queen e3, that move you suggested a while ago, Vidit, is just a good one.
Like, you might be afraid of some d4, but you also allow queen e4 and stuff like that.
Right, so, which attacks this knight on c6 and helps f5 become even more potent of a threat.
Right. At least, like, black should play quicker so that you ask questions, because I don't think black can play for more in the current situation, because f5 is a very strong threat.
Right.
Yeah.
So
queen
that's
d2 played. Queen e3. Okay. Very nice. Both of them rejecting the draws. So.
And for nice Eric, this is very strong play and kind of that old school Soviet technique, always repeat once, right? Like, that's what they say. So he's...
Like, I had a friend, you must be knowing Grandmaster Sashikiran. He used to just say that you should always repeat once or twice in order to show who is the boss. I like that term. So.
That's awesome. And of course, I know him. He beat me in the last round of Isle of Man. Thank you for bringing up some of my not so happy memories. You're such a good friend to me. But D4 played, and I think that Ellie recognizes that she needs some kind of counterplay because F5 will be so strong. And she's freed up the B4 square for her knight. So after Queen E4, now there's knight to B4. So maybe capturing on D4 was actually a mistake by Eric. He should have played Queen E4 immediately. Because with a pawn on C3 and a pawn on C5, the C3 pawn keeps B4.
Is the knight C5 right now?
Ooh. Well, the C6
doesn't
knight...
it like trap?
Oh, you're getting feisty. But
knight
C5...
I could go bishop B7. Okay, sorry, you were saying something?
No, I'm just trying to figure it out because knight C5, I either take on C6, but even the E2 knight there is hanging.
No, I would take rook C5, bishop C5, and go rook C1.
That's what I was about to say, is that I could take on C5, maybe queen takes A1 check, but then rook C1 back. And then I was hoping I could get
but there's
rook
B1 in the end.
And then queen C6, there's rook C8 kind of stuff. Exactly.
Oh, that's very cool.
But there, queen takes A6, and actually white's up 2 minor pieces.
You have king H2. You
have
king H2 in the end. Awesome.
Although maybe I don't because there's rook H8 check. So it's getting really complex here. And I think Ellie has to go for things like this because otherwise... her position collapses with F5. So Eric thinking here, he has queen takes C6, which he plays. Bishop B7 doesn't trap the queen. There's queen C7 with the E7 bishop.
What's happening?
Rook B2 is threat. Well, rook B2 is coming.
Yeah, so rook E1, I suppose. You get rid of that.
But
then queen D3, simply. Queen C6 was a mistake, I think. You should have gone rook C5. Rook C5, bishop C5, rook C1, and that was the way. Because here, black has... The moves are easy.
Oh, wait, rook B2 now?
It looks lost to me. Just rook B2
bishop B7 also is interesting. But then there's
rook B2 is handshakes. It's just handshakes immediately.
After what, rook B2?
Yeah, knight D4, queen E3, and take on G3, and our bishop D3 check, and it's just lost.
Yep. You're right.
They both have such poker face. I don't really get it. Like, oh, she takes on C5. Why? Now rook E1.
Ooh, that's a really nice in-between move, hitting this queen on E2 and taking away the E3 square. Even there, queen takes D3 with rook B2 to follow. Still feels like black has an initiative, but you're absolutely right that this gives white a way out.
I think they both missed rook B2 because it wasn't hard. Maybe it was just... over on the spot,
Yep.
As far as I can see.
Yep. And now rook E1 there is played with 30 seconds left.
Big time advantage for Ellie, like 1 minute. So what do you do? I would go queen C2. Keep this rook B2 thing alive.
Oh, that's a good move. Because if queen takes bishop on A6, rook B2 happens, and then there's a problem on the G2 square.
Queen A6, rook B2, bishop F1. I don't see mate.
I don't see mate either. I was actually wondering the same thing.
Usually I don't see mate, so I don't trust my skills.
You have missed so many checkmates in one. That's true.
F5? What?
Okay, going for some kind of attack here, but is F5 a good move? Can I ignore it? Right after F6 check, I go king G8. It's not mate immediately. I'm actually quite safe back there. So if
I would go bishop B7, F6, king G8, queen C7, bishop F3, queen B8, king H7. Like attack both on G2 and B8.
Yep.
If it makes any sense.
Makes perfect sense to me.
F6 check happening. King G8, queen C7, bishop F3. You take the bishop. You take the bishop back.
Yeah, you have to. So bishop F3, and then some kind of rook B1-ish stuff.
Oh, rook B1 is very nice. Rook B1 is a nice move.
Yeah,
you just take away that rook.
Yeah, you just take away the rook being under attack.
4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2.
Uh-oh, he takes rook B1.
He's being slow. He hasn't warmed up.
You got to go rook B1. I don't see any other move.
Yes, rook B1.
Because what white really needs to do is somehow get this check on the...
Oh, rook F8 is so not the move.
But I think she's still better, though.
Queen D3? Yeah, I mean, 2 seconds, it's impossible to play.
So... Queen A3, she's going to go D3.
Rook F8 is very practical in a way to just keep the king safe.
Yep.
I understand what... Bishop E1?
Bishop E4. Bishop E4 takes G6. You have to go for something like that. Oh, what's going on now?
queen e3.
Okay,
Queen
rook
f4?
d8. Oh, rook
Queen
d8.
f4. What?
Queen,
rook d8.
Queen h4.
Okay, now it should be mate. G5.
Nice
Queen
move with
e4.
king
King
e3.
e4. Queen g3.
Where you made me? I don't see the mate.
Queen f4. Queen f4. Rook h2. I just exchange your pieces.
I need to go queen takes f8. Watch out for
queen
queen takes
f8.
f8.
Queen f8.
Yeah, watch
Queen
out
f8.
for queen f8. King d4. Oh,
Rook
king
d1.
d4 is
Rook
better.
d1 lost. Rook d1 is lost.
Yep.
Take the queen.
Rook
Okay,
d1
mate.
is mate. Oh, rook d1 was mate
no.
1. Rook d1 was mate 1. Oh, there's queen f1 mate 2. 2 mates in 1 missed. But it's completely winning. But they missed checkmate 1.
Time. It's like, okay, now it's just lost, but it's time. Why is she playing so... What? Rook c2? I would never play rook c2. I would never ever play rook c2.
That was in honor of you, Vidit. Missing multiple checkmates in 1. We're going to pull up that analysis board really quickly just to show everybody what we were talking about. Some nice tactics there by IM Paehtz in a flurry because she fended off what looked like a potential attack for IM Rosen. Queen takes f8 check was about to be devastating. And the reason why is if I make some random move, queen f8, king f8, rook c8 is checkmate on the back rank. So instead of allowing that, she plays this move, rook e1 check, king to d3, miss the rook d1 check because the bishop was pinned, she takes it, king d2 misses rook d1 checkmate, but it didn't matter, she won the game anyway. Missing a second checkmate in 1 still didn't matter because she just traded and won the game. So let's go to the live position. We have
if every game is going to be like the first game, I think I should just get popcorn because it's so much fun to watch. Just very entertaining.
Yep, it is. And IM Paehtz takes a 1-0 lead in this match. So that was a crazy end to what was a very interesting game. I think we were both impressed by what was happening there. And IM Paehtz, good start for her. So,
knight c6.
Knight c6. Fork down. I will say that there is compensation.
Have you noticed that Eric has such a poker face? It doesn't look like he has blundered an exchange. Look at him. Like,
he did shake his head a little bit.
Okay, I missed it probably. I mean,
he was just like, ugh, how could I blunder that? But what I was going to say, Vidit, is there is some compensation here for black because your pieces are so active, right? The bishop on f5 is good. The knight on c4, it's a tough decision for white.
For sure, you have compensation, but not enough, for sure. Like you go queen c1, knight b3, and
way to end my point about how you can try to find. Wait, the knight's trapped on b8, so knight takes b2 was possible there.
No, but queen b3.
And then
knight a4, knight a6, knight a6.
Ah, darn! You ruined my hopes and dreams. Okay, so b3 played. What about knight a3 there? Wait a sec. Knight a3,
rook
aiming
c1.
for the c2 square, rook c1, but that knight can be annoying from that a3 square. I'm not saying again, black is not doing well. We both know that, but there's some compensation here. I'm still not thinking this one's over just yet.
True. I mean, I think black should keep fighting, even if he's exchanged down. If he gets rook down, he should keep fighting. You never know what will happen. So,
well, I think about this position. Let me ask you: how does white make progress?
Play rook c1.
But rook c1, there might be some kind of b4 stuff. Oh,
f3. I really don't like f3. Oh no.
F3 is the worst possible move. So just move your bishop. The rook takes c3 is the tactic that's happening. Rook c1, rook takes c3. Doesn't work.
You could even take rook c3. You could have gone rook c3 immediately as well. I think f3 was such a bad move. Why would you play f3? You would go rook c1, defend the pawns.
I'm totally with you, Vidit, because this problem on the diagonal is it's not that rook takes c3 will work right away. Rook c1, rook takes c3 does not work, as I was showing, because when I take back on c3, I can block on what? Just bishop takes b1? Vidit, I don't know what's going on here.
I think Ellie, I don't like what she has done so far. Not at all. Okay, now that I think of it, bishop d3 was a threat, so knight b1 may not be as bad as it looks, but b4 now, just c1.
Okay, so
I think white is still better. I would say I would go as far as to say that.
Oh, I completely agree with that, but it feels like black has received more than he deserved, considering he just hung in exchange for free.
For sure.
And it's what I was saying
100%.
to you. You were so certain that, this is terrible. It's terrible. I agreed with you, but the position wasn't so
Okay.
easy.
Okay, I know what you want to hear. You're right.
Oh,
Robert,
my
you're
gosh.
right.
Oh my gosh. I just want to thank all of my fans for supporting me as I made the push to have it admit that I was right. Okay, but white is still doing extremely well here. Queen b4 is a very good move. You threaten a4 because the pawn on b5 is pinned, but also just queen to c5, gaining momentum on the queen side.
Yeah, if you have to go back rook c8, rook e8, it's a sign that, nothing's going your way.
Yeah.
97 now I would play. Yeah, cover the c5 square.
And a5 is actually an idea for black because b5 is protected. So 97 is a good move. Rook c2 is met by an a5 push.
I would just play king h1, get the king out of that pen first and foremost.
Oh.
Yeah, just...
How about a5 for black? Just push.
Queen d2, yeah, queen d2. It's not simple. Black has compensation.
Oh,
queen
b4.
c3, even better
C8.
move.
Rook c8.
Yeah, queen e3.
Ah, that's really smart. You're encouraging my rook to a place where you can trade it. That's very smart.
After knight b1, she has played impressively, I would say.
Yes, very accurately. And so now we're in a position where it's one pawn and a knight for a rook. And white should probably go rook c2, rook c1. This is exactly what she's doing. And it should probably be just decisive in white's favor. So I was going to ask you, Vidit, and I don't see the answer to this. That's why I'm saying this your way. How can black continue to try to have some sort of counterplay here?
That's a good question, but hard to answer. Because I would really like to attack d4, and for that I need to get the knight to c6. So I tie down one rook to the d5, but I'm just a tempo short. So this queen c3 was very clever. He goes h5.
I like it.
Gh, knight f5.
Yeah, that's a very smart move. Exactly what you were saying. I need to attack d4. And this pawn on g4 has been very annoying for black to deal with. It's the double pawns, but takes away this vital square. Ooh, giving the e4 square.
Bishop d3.
Queen f4 maybe as well?
Queen f4, yeah. Queen f4 makes sense. But knight f5, it's not so clear anymore, right? But queen b8, rook c8, it should be winning.
Yeah, because the b5 pawn falls.
But, queen f4, I would play e5. Let's push him.
All right, Yasser Gujarati. Push him, baby. You're right, though. E5 is the move you have to play. Just start coming up with some counterplay for black. So what should white do here? Bishop d3.
Bishop d3.
You suggested that.
I think you're suggesting all Eric's moves, and I'm suggesting all Ellie's moves.
And so far, that's working out well for Ellie. She is up 1-0. But in this game, Eric has achieved counterplay out of nowhere. So e5.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
hangs a bishop.
She just hung up a piece. She just hung up a piece. Knight f5. They both don't see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't good. That was a free piece.
Yeah, now it's just completely lost.
Sometimes you just have a moment where you put a piece on a square and you're like, her reaction was very unhappy, obviously, because she said, what am I doing? I was up in exchange from very early in this game.
It's a sign of, not like being sharp, hanging a piece like that. I did it when I come back to chess after a long time, like playing chess. When I play after like 2 weeks or something, after I come back from my hibernation and I start playing, I hang up pieces. So wait, what's going on? King h2 ed he wants. Is he playing for the crowd?
No, but king h2 ed, king takes g3. And I just have queen f4.
Knight f1, knight f1, knight f1, queen c7, knight f1.
Oh,
queen c7, knight f1.
That is so nice with knight f1 to follow.
That's very clever. That's very clever. But
nice find, did it? He did it. Yep. This way is even better because you keep the queens on the board. It's a weak king.
I would play queen c7. I would play queen c7 for, like, I'm a show off, so I would do it queen c7. The other way.
Yeah, that was a nice find though. So Eric Rosen, he rebounds from his game 1 debacle where it did feel like white had the advantage in that game before suddenly Ellie turned on the jets and was able to take that full point. So it felt like a role reversal where I think in the first game, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Vidit, we liked Eric's position with the white side, but he ended up losing. This game, of course, we loved Ellie's position from the white side. She was up in exchange, and now she's lost this game after some stubborn defense by both players.
Yeah, nothing to add. I mean, I'm just shocked by this bishop f5. Like, if you play bishop f5, you kind of like give up on the game, yeah? I mean, now I would just resign with white. Why would you even continue? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's queen eight. Okay, resignation, queen h2, queen h1 with checkmate. And sometimes you just need a breather. You need to finish the game so that way when you start the new game, you have a clean slate. And Ellie goes for this b6, bishop b7, this fianchetto. And
What's this opening called, by the way?
Don't ask me. I don't know. Why do you got to put me on the spot when I don't know openings?
Because you play all kinds of stuff like this, like a6, g6, b6.
I play it, but I don't know the names of it. Okay. We don't put labels on things here, Vidit. This is just, it's just the b6, bishop b7 variation. And the reason why Ellie enjoys this, they're offbeat, not really mainline theory. The bishop on b7 is on a very strong diagonal, keeping the bishop on f1 stuck for the time being, which means a move like f3 can be played. But if you're white in this position, you sort of want to play h3, g4, rook to g1, of course, before doing that, and put your bishop on d3, lining up against the black king. And so castling queenside is very doable, but you have to do it quickly because sometimes black gets a quick strike in center, like e5 coming, and then even an e4.
I usually, in my childhood, I used to really like such positions with black. Very easy to play.
Yep.
Go e5, and I love the bishop on b7. Long castle, nice.
Yep, here comes e5. There might be a problem down the d file. You have to be very careful when there's a rook staring down the same line as a queen. I think e5 was playable there, but then you also loosen your protection of the f5 pawn. E5 followed by e4 is one of those ideas that sound very good to gain space, but when your opponent has a pair of bishops, you also are opening up diagonals, and in particular, this bishop on f4 would achieve more space in those cases. Bishop g5 now makes sense.
E4, yeah, you have to go e4, and h6. Play h6.
White's one move away from playing g4, so h6 is a very good move to make that much harder. You have to take on f6, probably. Ooh.
C5, yeah. G4?
I want to play G4.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go G4. Why not?
G4,
I would play G4.
C takes D4. E takes D4 is forced because D3 is coming. And
I like white's position, to be honest, now.
Yeah, because rook C8 and all this stuff doesn't come quickly enough. C4 is so well protected by white's pieces, and if I can collapse your pawn chain, even though G takes F5 is not the end of the world.
I would go F4, bishop F4, knight D5.
Oh, look at you with more tactics here. You can't even, well, you can take on D5, but
yeah, rook F4, and I get like a lot of counterplay. F2 is hanging, rook C8 is in the air, and then I get warmed up. I would play F4.
I like that. Going very aggressive here. She plays rook C8 instead.
Yeah, she wants B5, but it doesn't seem like it's with the same potency. Like B5, D.
Same idea, right? B5,
Just
D5.
play King B1. Just play King B1.
I wouldn't even play King B1. I play Rook G3 here because Rook G3 stops anything from coming to C3 square, and I'm going to go Rook D to G1. Bishop H6, Rook H7. Yeah, that seemed a little strange to me.
Yeah, I don't like Bishop H6 because you give King H8 and you have to move the bishop. So why would you go Bishop H6? It's like a one-move trick, yeah?
And the claim might be the Rook on F7 is misplaced, but I actually don't believe it is, as the Rook wasn't going to come over the C file anyway, I don't believe.
King B1.
Okay, King B1, your idea makes perfect sense.
Yeah, King H8, yeah. So you kind of wasted a move. You should not have gone Bishop H6.
The claim might be that this Rook on F7 is not great, but yeah, I think this B5 is
now
some moment,
DC.
DC,
now DC,
and then go for B5.
You can't even
B4.
take it. Exactly. Misplayed. Eric misplayed that.
And where's White's attack going to come from? The thing is, the rook could have been on G3 for White, and another rook could be sliding to G1 with the king on G8. So you
wasted two moves.
Yeah, that's not the optimal play here.
And F4, C3, yeah. No, I don't really like it.
C3 is coming with the A3 pawn. A weakness.
And Ellie's again up on time, a minute advantage. She's playing faster than Eric so far.
Yes. This match has been so different from the match we did yesterday, for example, between Anna Zatansky and Greg Shahadi. That match was very strategic in nature. This match has already been very tactical. So these players are warming up, but they haven't had much time to do so, and they have tactical affair after tactical affair. So what would you play as white here? Rook g3 still comes to mind, just covering the c3s.
F3. He took 1 minute on that, by the way. That's huge.
I don't like that move either.
What would you play? E3 and go C3 and...
That's what I'm thinking. But E3, knight F1, C3, maybe just knight takes E3. Like I know you're going to take on B2, but I just take...
Yeah, take on B2 and H6.
Yeah. I'm not...
You know, it's... I just go with intuition here. I would try to attack as ASAP.
Yeah. But...
You could also take on F3. Like you play C3 now.
Yep.
BC and then take on F3. And in the end, take Queen A3 if you want to play technical.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Then 95 type of stuff happens, but Bishop 94 comes in after it takes it. This is too crazy. This is some crazy stuff where both sides are trying to check.
C3 happened.
C3 is a good move.
Takes, and now EF.
Maybe after...
He should take back soon, no? Why is he thinking?
I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about knight takes E4 or something, but that doesn't look good.
Mm.
But Vidit, even if you go B takes C3 here, maybe just queen takes A3 right away.
Knight C4. I was afraid of knight C4.
Oh, nice move. That's a
Thank
good
you.
move. You find those every now and then. Gosh, Vidit.
I make... Luckily, I make a living from chess. So.
Uh-oh. Here comes knight C4. That training you had today clearly is paying off. You know, you're in game.
Yeah, I
shape.
had training today.
What?
I did training today.
Isn't that what you told me, that you were training?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean...
I didn't think I was like, revealing a big secret that I should regret talking about. You just told me you were going to work on chess today. So
yeah,
it feels like you've worked on your chess finding moves like knight to c4.
Wait, I hear in the chat that Danya was doing my impressions. Really?
I don't remember him. He was telling a lot of bad puns. Is that what they mean?
Okay, whose puns are better? I haven't heard Danya's puns, and I can imagine Danny's puns, and you know my puns. So.
Oh no, I'm not getting involved with this. I'm
No?
I'm
You don't like
pleading the
controversy?
fifth. I'm pleading the
like
fifth, as
controversy?
they say. And you know, girls just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. So it just these things happen.
F4. Go F4 95.
F4 to go 95. I like that. That looks very dangerous. Maybe there's bishop d5 kind of stuff, but F4, that's a good move. You really are just making 95
But
happen.
he's so slow. 40 seconds. He has to move faster.
But he's a good bullet player, so maybe we should think that this is a critical moment. But I agree with you.
What else to do? Yeah, I don't see other move apart from F4.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, why would you voluntarily give up that?
Yeah, that was a bit strange because now F5 is also weak. So F4, I can even just go rook takes F5. Or play for at some
I guess he wants to play Fe, yeah, bishop E4, bishop D3, rook C4, bishop E4.
All right,
and what's happening? Queen E3.
Madness is happening. There's some kind of G file attack, but it looks like white is going down. I mean, black's attack looks much quicker. That was some strange decision making here, and Eric is far too
down
strong
to
a
20
player
seconds
to just allow something like this. And you're right; it's the time management. He might not be used to 5-minute chess, where you think that you have more time than you really do.
You could just take on D3 and go rook C6, and I think it's just lost.
Oh yeah,
0-1.
I like that. That's actually the simplest. Take.
Yeah.
He takes rook C6, and here it comes.
Look at this difference in speed, by the way. She's playing much faster. Although
Trying to go
Queen
F7.
But knight B2. Rook C6 was, I think, finish.
She's going to take on F5.
Yeah, knight B2, rook F5.
Black's up a pawn, safer king.
Yeah, for sure it's better. And then rook F3 is coming.
Oh.
What?
Is rook A6 her threat? No, then there's D5.
I don't like B5.
This is something that I've noticed thus far, Vidit, is that in her opponent, taking that pawn, that seems scary to me. But in her opponent's time trouble, she's still playing tactically and trying to play quickly. Sometimes you just need to take your time and finish the game by whatever means necessary, not just sacrificing and getting aggressive. But it does look like it's going to work out for her because this king on A1 is so vulnerable. And why king A1 and not king C1, I'm not sure, but he doesn't have much time to think about it.
Now knight f6, yeah, and just queen a5 and resigns.
Yep. Queen a5 is perfect. And then rook takes b2.
Rook b2, yeah, or knight d5, maybe just why even rook b2? Rook b2 is like allowing him to breathe. Knight d5 is like choking him.
Yep. And you're the bully. Clearly.
Sorry for the bad images which I put, but yeah,
yeah,
it's a way of saying.
People are saying no, Eric. There are some Eric Rosen fans there who are not happy that it looks like he's losing. H5 is good, giving the king more space than H6 would. And okay, C4, you're just down a queen and a knight for 2 rooks. A queen for 2 rooks in this position would be interesting, but with the extra knight for black, it should just be a kind of mating attack, kind of with
time difference and so much.
Yeah, take d4. Just don't let that pawn promote.
Yeah, exactly why I didn't want to allow all this. I don't like. Why should I calculate when I could just finish it off?
Some people enjoy calculating, Vidit. It's part of chess. It's not all.
I don't. I'm lazy when it comes to calculation.
I don't believe that. Not one bit. Which of the many winning moves did you play? Knight b4 here?
Yeah, knight b4.
If after knight b4 I play c6. There it is. Just you got to have that pass pawn start running. Only chance.
Knight.
See, now you're thinking. You're like, knight, I'm not sure where the knight goes.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually,
just put the queen on c7. Yeah, queen a5, queen c7, and resigns.
Yes. And then just push it.
Resigns like 5 times, but it's not happening.
See, that's what I keep telling you. Stop saying resigns. you should have learned by now. Rook d2. Just play.
Queen a5. Queen a5. 0-1.
A5.
Boop. Oh. King d5, queen d8. Still it's winning. But yeah.
Yes. Queen d8. There
okay.
It is.
Now resign, please.
No resignation for you, Vidit. Okay? No resignation coming your way.
Why would you not resign?
Well, because you want to waste some. I think if you're Eric Rosen, you really do want to waste time off the match clock. Oh my gosh, stalemate! That's why you don't resign! That was stalemate! Oh my gosh! Oh my, instant replay. Vidit, we have to pull up the analysis board. Did you see that coming?
No, I thought like the game is finished. I was reading the chat and then I heard stalemate. I relaxed.
Because queen takes
God.
c7 check, king a8, and if you're pre-moving g2 here, which seems to have been what happened, after g2 the king can't move. That is an ingenious trap set by Eric Rosen, and now it's a 1.5 tie instead of a 2-1 deficit. Oh my gosh. Vidit, are you speechless?
Yeah.
So have you learned your lesson?
I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated. It pains me.
Just say it. Say it. Everyone wants to hear it. Come on, Vidit, say it. Say it. We're all listening. I'll put my ear close. Say it.
No. Okay, you're right.
Okay, just checking. There, you did say it.
No, but it pains me to see a stalemate like this. It's very painful. Very painful.
Well, no pain, no game is what they say, Vidit. And unfortunately for IM Paehtz, she suffers a draw in a completely winning position because of a pre-move. But it happens. This is speed chess. This is the drama that the people have requested. No? Come on, man. Come on, Vidit.
I'm recovering, man.
You're okay. You're okay.
It's really, like, I feel so bad. I don't know why. I mean, I feel as if it's my own game. I feel like that when something like this happens.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
I don't know. Okay, so...
I just don't know what to tell you right now.
What did an Australian chess player tell another Australian chess player when they walked out of McDonald's? Angrily.
I don't get it.
No, when they walked out of McDonald's angrily, what did they say?
I'm hating it? I don't know.
No, it's stalemate.
Oh my gosh. That is so bad, but it's so applicable that I have to commend you. Is that one of your friends' jokes, or did you come up with that one?
No, I saw the stalemate and I had to make it even worse. Like, I'm healing, I'm trying to heal myself, but it's not working.
Oh gosh, you're a healer. You are just You're the person the people needed and they didn't know they needed. But right now we have more chess. H4. I'm worried a bit about Ellie here because when you lose half a point in a position you're completely winning in, you feel the urge to like win the next game, like win at all costs. And Eric seems first on the queen side before Ellie can get anything going on the king side. You know, you want to play a move like H5 or something like this, but it does feel like Black holds all the cards here.
Yeah, I like Black's position.
And Eric down a minute on the clock. That's been
theme
of the match.
Slow.
Yeah.
I would just, take on c3 or go knight e7. I would like to bring the knight to d6 and open up the c file, put the rooks on c file. Logical chess.
E5 played.
E5.
I don't know if I like that move, actually.
But it makes sense. You cannot take on d5, knight f3. What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. This is a major tilt. It's a major tilt.
Wait, I have an idea. Take rook d1.
Queen b2.
And then rook d7. And then your pawn f7's in some trouble.
But I see.
Your knight's
but I can play queen c3. I'm not afraid of you.
You should be more afraid of me. Show me some respect, Vidit. Because I'm you just in general, when you win a piece for free, you don't want to see your opponent get counterplayed. Like that was a complete blunder. But there is an attacking chance here because the black king is not very safe.
True.
Because queen f7 followed by rook e6, and all of a sudden your king is getting in harm's way.
True.
Maybe
rook f8. I think he'll play rook f8 because
I was about to say.
He played queen b3.
Oh, I totally missed that.
A much better move, and kudos to him for finding that. I missed it.
I didn't even see it.
It was a good move.
I was so focused on maybe she has a semblance of hope with some attacking chances, and then you play queen b3, and I'm like, okay, there goes any hope of my attack. I should just resign and go to the next game. But this is when tilt happens. We are watching tilt. She was completely winning against Eric Rosen in game 3. He somehow worked his way into a stalemate. And now for IM Paehtz, she's hoping that, hey, rook e4, rook h4 comes in a timely manner, and I can checkmate the king. Actually, rook e4 here, there's rook b4 just to keep yourself safe. But king g2.
He takes on c3. Rook h1.
Yeah.
Annoying move. That's why you should go rook e8.
Uh-oh. How do you stop this? Also, rook b1 is a threat too in some variations to distract your queen, which needs to protect f7. So
I don't see a clear way, to be honest.
G6 is risky. Oh, this is not so easy.
King g2. Never say never.
Well, you've learned. You have clearly learned. I'm so proud of you, Vidit.
I knew it. Like
I'm so proud. You just hit me with a Justin Bieber song. And you also have learned to never resign. I am very proud of you.
See, I became a believer.
Oh, yes, you did. So. You saw my face, and then you became a believer. And
hashtag fun.
Yeah, queen h6, rook h1. I'm sorry, but what's going on here, Vidit? Help me out. Is this just checkmate?
I don't see how to defend.
I guess queen c4 to e4 is one way of trying.
Eric is uncomfortable. I can see he's moving in his chair. He doesn't see how to defend rook h1.
I think queen c4.
Queen b1.
No. Queen b1's too crazy.
Okay, queen c4.
Queen c4, rook h1, queen e4 check.
Yeah.
It's very important. You kick the king away from the into the h file because any king to the first.
He even takes on a4. But rook f7 or doesn't work. No, king f7, queen h7, king f6.
It looks at least interesting. I'm not sure if it's working. It's not working. So you're right. So rook takes f7.
I would play queen c4, but he's so brave. He goes queen a4.
Yeah, that's an unnecessary pawn to capture. It's kind of adding like insult to injury. You've already won a piece because your opponent blundered, and now you're stealing this pawn that's meaningless to the actual position, but you can get away with it. Rook e6. I like the idea. There's so many threats here. But pretty much every move that brings your queen to safety should help out. You know, queen g4 type of move. There it is. And I would just, I don't know what to say, Vidit. Rook f6, all right, makes sense.
Go.
Queen takes
Knight
d7.
e5. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Free rooks. I like those.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy. Wow.
Yummy,
Wow.
yummy.
Dude, you talked about McDonald's, which does not sound yummy at all, but I just had to hit you back with a little bit of taste. Hey, Vidit.
Yeah. What's
I
up?
got something to tell you, man. I'm worried
It
about.
better be good.
I'm worried about IM Paehtz here. I'm really worried.
Tilt mode.
Yeah, tilt is very real. So I kind of feel like she needs to win this game for her own morale, just so that she can go back to an even score. But thus far in the match, it does feel like IM Rosen is making the most of his chances. And Ellie, on her side, she's just she's wavering. She's moving quickly, but she's let him escape in that game where she stalemated him, when she totally outplayed him. And then she just hung a piece.
The only thing which helps in such situation is either you hear a good pun or you win a game.
Well, she hasn't won a game. And I have you exactly. The stalemate one was pretty good. I have to admit, that was pretty good.
It was the timing was good, but she can't hear it, so it's not helping.
But I can hear it, so it's helping me, which helps everybody who's watching this broadcast. And we have another closed Sicilian setup here. In this case, Black has the two bishops. The bishop on b3 was captured. Queen h4 doesn't really look super powerful, but you can't castle with the knight e7 under attack. f5. Thematic choice.
I've noticed that. Like in tactics, Eric has been better.
Yep.
But the positions, like, Ellie, so far, I think she's playing better, like positionally or strategically, if I can say that. But tactically, it's so tricky.
I agree. He's been very resourceful. And even in that lost position, he plays king 8. He knows the tricks of the trade. And that's essential when you're playing an hours-long blitz and bullet match. And after f5, once again, Ellie is up nearly a minute on the clock. Her position looks great. I like this for Black.
I would play king f7, like that's how I play. King f7, h5, bishop f6. Just in the not even trap, just suffocate it.
Yeah. Queen c6.
ef5 for the win.
You are good at blundering checkmate in one move. Do not do this, everybody watching. I know you look at Super GM Vidit Gujarati and say, if he's suggesting a move, I should listen. He's just joking around, because that blunders checkmate, when a queen and bishop are lined up, you don't want to touch the pieces that are blunting that diagonal. And Vidit, what is the point of queen c6? Because what has changed besides the fact that the pawn can't move?
I wouldn't play queen c6. Anyways, ef5 was not a big deal. Go king f7.
Yeah, this king is stuck. We keep talking about it because the knight on e7 is unchecked. There's king f7. Yeah. Maybe queen c6 was a good inclusion. You just freeze white for the time being. And
I would, what I'd do with white? Go bishop d2, move my knight, get bishop c3. I need to exchange that.
Well, rook e2, I would go a5, a4 for Black. Oh,
knight f4? Knight f4?
Yeah, I don't love the knight being over there, but you have to, right?
Yeah, but d6, e5 stuff, kind of extra options.
Yeah.
d6, only move.
This pawn on c5, as you're talking about, is weak. And rook e1 makes perfect sense. There's sometimes you're going to take on f5, pressure down the e-file.
Yeah, I would go rook e8 just to be, safe. Safety first, guys. Safety first.
You're all about making sure that also. Why did she play b4? If we just go back to that position, instead of b4, I liked a5 and then play a4 and then b4. Just push all my pawns, open up the queen side for my pieces. I don't know.
Okay, maybe safe. Robert, you should take safety very seriously.
I advise everybody to be safe, and I say do as I say, not as I do. I'm just trying to come up with counterplay down the queen side, and then I'm being criticized by my good friend Vidit Gujarati. So you're good at
takes on e4. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wouldn't do that.
What? Bishop takes
bishop c5. Bishop d4 check, king h1.
Okay,
what's happening?
Bishop c5, bishop d4. You said king h1.
No, I don't like what she did.
I don't like it.
It might be working, but
maybe it's just move queen back to c. Oh, but b4 is hanging. Yeah, what?
I'm shocked.
Wait, rook d2, and then d6.
Rook d2 is such a clever move. I like it.
You just attack the queen.
Yeah. Yeah, rook d2 makes perfect sense.
I'm very surprised at what's going on here.
Tilt.
But
It's
there
called
is
tilt.
there is knight f5 tactics that you have to be alert.
Knight f5, rook d5.
No, I mean rook d2. Can my queen go anywhere? There's nowhere to go. Ah. Yeah, this rook d2 move looks very strong.
I would just go queen d2, but okay, that's desperation. But yeah. No, this is why is he not playing rook d2? Play it.
Wait, actually, Vidit, if I go rook d2, knight f5, rook d5, knight h4, something like this, like your
Rook
g2 pawn,
d6. Rook d6.
bishop takes g2.
What? Bishop b6? Oh no. He just didn't see rook d2.
Yeah,
I mean,
now
if you see rook d2, you would play it.
right. And now
Now
black's
queen
getting
f2,
out of it.
Queen f2. What would you play? Queen c6. Just get it out from d5.
I would think about queen c6, definitely.
Like
but
94 doesn't work because rook d2. Yeah, queen c6 makes sense.
And now what's white's idea? Because e6 is defended. The knight on a4 is stuck. The bishop on b6 doesn't really have the best diagonal to work with. So all of a sudden,
I would go knight
like,
d2. Knight d2, knight f3.
I like
Block that diagonal for once and all.
You close diagonal, also threaten knight g5 check ideas. I like it.
Yeah.
c3.
Yeah, Eric and my way of thinking is completely different. That's what I've realized. Single move matches.
You're all strategic, he's all tactical, and so there's no middle ground. And h5, okay.
Well, she's going
h4, h3 maybe?
Yeah.
h4?
He plays 92. h4, knight f3.
Yeah, you're going to just give me the g2 pawn. I know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But how about h4, knight f3, bishop f6?
That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I would do. Queen b5 feels wrong. It feels wrong.
She's just going after the b3 pawn? It feels greedy. Feels very greedy. I would still think about knight f3, knight g5 stuff. What else can you do here? c4.
Knight f3, I would take on b3.
I was trying to stack.
Or even take on f3 and take on b3.
Yeah, that's
because my king is very safe on f7.
Yep. Even if it has to go to g8, you now have the h7 square to run to in the end of it all. So taking on f3 if my knight gets there makes sense. c4 played. Is queen takes b6 a move here? What do you think about queen takes b6?
Cool move.
And then just bishop d4. I guess it doesn't work because knight b6, rook e3, right?
But bishop b6.
Oh, well, maybe it does work. I don't know. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not my game, not my pieces. Happy to sacrifice them. Everybody knows this.
But look at the time. Look at the time. It would have made it easier. So now
don't
it's
tell me
20
what
seconds.
to do. Don't tell me what to do. Hey, now queen takes b6.
I didn't tell you what to
do. You said look at the time. And so I felt like you were, telling me what to do. And I felt like just out of necessity, I had to protect my feelings. I'm just kidding. So knight f3. I don't want to take that thing.
Bishop f6. Yeah.
Yep, good move.
Knight g5.
Now I'm going to take it. Don't play h3.
h3. Yeah, exactly. We both said it at the same time. Is the queen trapped on b4? Like kind of trapped?
Yeah, rook h5 though.
Rook h5 is a good move. Good move.
Come after the. Oh, okay. She's trying to free her queen.
This is also a good move.
Wait, bishop takes a4? Is it? Oh, queen a7. But there's some kind of queen a7 check stuff, like bishop a4, bishop h8, rook h8, and the queen a7 stuff. I don't know. Looks.
Yeah, then you allow some rook e6 business, and like if you go king g8, e5, bishop c3, queen b7.
Queen b6 here.
Black is better. Black is better for sure.
But he's been tricky. Game after game. Queen takes b3, queen takes b3. Can I just steal that pawn and win a piece?
You should actually steal that pawn just. Otherwise you might be g8. Practical.
Yeah, but too practical. Probably not correct. Rook h5.
Bishop g2 or what?
Or rook h5. Both those moves look good.
Bishop g2 I like because I just chop away all the pawns.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I would love to get my knight to d5.
Rook d1 played.
Bishop f3.
Bishop f3 resigns.
Rook takes
No, I'll
d6.
not say
Oh,
resigns.
no.
I'll not say knight d6.
Yeah, I forgot that your knight's there after
Why
all
not
that.
bishop f3? Take the exchange.
Uh-oh. C5. Bishop f3 back?
Yeah, now bishop f3. Go back, please.
Or rook h5 actually looks good too. Whoa. This is not...
I don't like... No,
Yeah,
no.
this is
And
not
she has
so
so much time. She has so much time. She could just think. He has
rook
5
h7.
seconds.
Why rook
Oh,
h7?
God.
Some kind of knight takes g6 is coming now.
You know, I would say that she's not coming in time pressure, but she's playing really bad in Eric's time pressure.
Wait, is there mate or is rook takes e2?
Rook
Is there
e2
mate?
resigns.
Stop saying resigns. You've learned your lesson already, I thought.
No,
Oh,
bishop e2.
Wait, bishop e2?
Why? Why?
Knight takes e8. With
B4? 98.
What was b4? There's no relevance to the board.
Is there some stalemate which I'm missing?
Oh, man.
Queen f3. Queen f3 now.
Queen f3 is...
Be practical. No, there is no practicality. h3.
Queen
g2. Play queen g2, please. Please do it.
It's totally unnecessary. Like, black is winning in a million ways, and rook e4, I guess, is one of them. Oh, you can't go rook g4. I was blundering it. I'm so a5.
a5.
I mean...
Just finish off the game. a4.
How many rooks are under attack? 2 of them here. b3, just push the pawns.
Rook d4.
This is amazing.
This is the best.
Rook takes b3 just out of desperation.
Stalemate or what? b2?
Rook g4 is mate.
Oh, God.
Finally. Wow.
Still playing. This, I would never do it with.
Vinny, did you learn something from that?
I learned.
You got nothing to say, do you?
Yeah, I didn't learn something, but I just am having fun. That like technique was the best technique ever. Like a5, a4, you know.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. That was this has been epic. This has been a lot of fun, but it's hard to wrap your head around everything that's happening. So we now have the most normal looking position we've seen today, right? Theoretical 4 knights type Scotch. The queen is on e2 rather than on f3. Typically you see the queen on f3 in this position. And is bishop... No, I want to play f4, f5, or bishop f5 or something to take on e7, but it doesn't look like it gives me enough.
No, I'll just try to predict moves. It's so much more fun than analyzing.
I don't think you're getting paid to just predict moves, Vin, you know? You're supposed to help me out, be that worldly gentleman that you are, and come up with nice strategies and crazy tactics.
I came up with, but nothing happens. Like nothing is applied on the board.
This is how most people play when they're in tournament games, okay? So you don't have that feeling when you're playing.
Hey, wait, bishop f6. That was a very cool tactic. Bishop
oh,
f6,
look at
95,
you.
And I make my payment worth it now.
You did. You did. You absolutely did. Threatening checkmate on h7, the bishop on d5. That was a tactic that was available to white and wasn't played because she's playing so quickly. I still like her position from the white side, but she is playing extremely quickly and sometimes missing tactics that she would ordinarily find.
Bishop f6 was nice, no? Just go for knight d5, queen h5. And...
It was very nice, but it didn't happen. So now I need you to come up with other strategies.
Okay. My other strategy is play rook e8.
And then?
No. One move at a time. One move at a time.
You sound like Barev, right?
Really?
Yeah, he was famously, I think he was the one who said it, that he only thinks like 2 moves ahead.
Okay.
And considering he became number 3 in the world, worked out pretty well for him.
Now bishop d5, bishop d3. What a draw it would be.
So bishop g5. I was thinking bishop f4.
Rook d8, rook d8.
Just to protect?
You know, I think long term, black is having a better position.
Yes. I agree. in the initial position, it looked very fragile because you're never sure if you want to play a move like c4 for black or play a move like d4 because then you give up the squares. That's the problem with these hanging pawns. Is what these are called in c5 and d5. As soon as you push one of them, the square that it was previously taking control of now is weak and available to your opponent. So that's why Eric is keeping the pawns in their place, because it takes away e4, takes away c4 and d4. All these squares are under black's control. Bishop e5, I was advocating for this plan. And all of a sudden, even if there's nothing serious here, knight e2 to f4 type of idea.
But there is you cannot play rook e8 because of bishop f6 and knight d5 again. That's a very nice tactic.
Wow. And if bishop d5, I take on e8, rook e8, queen takes d5.
Yeah.
Pawn.
And if rook d5, queen d5, mate.
Yep. There's a checkmate on the back rank here. Nice tactical vision by Vidit Gujrathi. I'm surprised that he's saying good tactics. He told me he was just going to try to guess the moves. Instead, he's coming up with.
Then you put me in guilt. I have to even analyze now. So you put me in guilt.
I'm sorry, my friend.
Works.
I'm sorry.
It always works.
I didn't mean to do that to you so publicly. Bishop f5 now, or do you take on c4?
I would take because bishop f5. I was worried you could take on f5 and go d4.
D4, right?
That's kind of. But knight e4.
Yeah, I'm into this position. It's getting interesting.
Knight e4. The funny thing is you have no threat.
Yeah, true. Rook d5 even for black is available there.
Yeah.
So c4.
I see all the chat. Thank you everyone for the nice comments.
People love you, Vidit. We all make mistakes, but I see amazing chess.
It's only because of you that I can
look good.
Make all the punts because otherwise nobody would hear it.
Oh, well, I'm glad
you need an audience. You need an audience.
I'm glad I opened the floor for you here, and I just saw amazing chess. 210 in the Chess TV chat says, "Wow, Vidit is amazing. Go Vidit!" All caps.
Thank you.
Bishop b4, hitting the rook on e1. The bishop on e5 is still pinned, so you can't even think about sacrificing the exchange or taking on f6. Unfortunately, rook d1 played. Wait a second. Wait a second.
d5 or knight d7?
Knight d7?
f4 you have to play. You have to play f4.
Ugh. You know how that makes me feel. Not good.
Is there an emote for that? You're going, ugh.
Ugh. Just
is there an emote?
Nice.
There should be an emote for that.
Knight d7, pinned
I would
bishop.
play rook e8 maybe. f4.
Okay, now what?
My
queen's kind of trapped on f5.
So bishop d6. Bishop d6, rook d4, bishop e5, rook d8, bishop d4. That's how I win my game.
What about rook e6 here?
Why? G6?
Yeah.
Tricky guy. Tricky Robert.
You're like, wait, what are you doing, man? And then you're like, oh, that queen is trapped pretty quickly. I don't think it works, though. If rook e6, rook f3, rook g3, and things like that, where actually white is turning the tables on the attack.
Rook e6 is such a clever move. I must give that. So she goes bishop d6, rook d4, bishop e5, rook d8, bishop d4. We both are in sync. We are thinking the same way.
Yeah, rook d4, bishop e5, rook d8, bishop d4 check is beautiful.
But now rook e1. Yeah, you should play rook e1. Or you could play knight b2 and be very sneaky.
You are the sneakiest. Bishop e5, knight takes c4, hitting the queen and then hitting the
I love knight b2. I love knight b2.
I love knight b2 too. We just had a moment. You heard that, Vidit?
I didn't think of it that way.
Okay, well, that hurts, just for the record. That does hurt. But knight to b2 looks really strong, and rerouting that pony into c4. And that's one of the downsides of pushing your hanging pawns, right? The pawn on d5 took away squares like c4 and e4. As soon as you start pushing them forward, you give control over some of these squares. And now knight b2 looks really strong, and IM Paehtz has plenty of time. She's up a minute on the clock. We see this game after game, and she goes rook takes d4. She's going to blunder.
She fell for the trap.
She did.
One trap in the position.
She did. And she had plenty of time to think about it. She walked
it's amazing because I thought IM Paehtz was black at the entire game.
And now you've realized that you made a big mistake. Do you need glasses? That was a serious question.
I do have glasses, by the way, but
Okay, well, I don't see them on your face, and
yeah, I don't wear them.
Well, maybe you should, because IM Paehtz has the white pieces. You look at your screen, like you look at the bottom of your screen. IM Paehtz is white.
That's what. Okay. Oh.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page here. So I'm not going to call this game over because you've done that many times, and then things go wrong for the side that's winning. But E takes F6 is forced here. Queen trades happen. The rooks come to the second rank. Rook E2, Rook E2.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go. I'm going to go full lawnmower on the second rank.
Is it called lawnmower? Two rooks.
Usually it's the windmill, but I feel like it's a lawnmower situation here. Just what I'm talking about?
Why not to invent? Why not?
Sure. Because I don't go with the popular commentary, Vidit. I'm my own person.
Too mainstream.
Exactly. I'm a contrarian by nature. Rook E2. Bam.
Rook E1 I would play even.
Okay. Like, you know what? You got to one-up me. And there, look what happened. Who played Rook E2? That was International Master IM Rosen. Vidit's wrong.
I have a feeling that this match is going to be very close.
Well, is that feeling because it's 2.5 right now, and so they're as close as it gets because they're tied?
It's just, Vidit, by the way, means prediction. So it's just in my name.
Did you just make that up, or is that true? Because I have no way of fact-checking that too quickly.
It's true. Vidit means knowing stuff.
Let's see. I'm Googling this right now.
Vidit means to know. So I do know.
Okay. I can't really find it right now. Somebody else can verify, but someone find me the Snopes article on this. Is it true?
You will get your verification at the end of the match. I just know.
Well played. And IM Rosen, just like that, takes a 1-game lead, 3.5, 2.5 over IM Paehtz. And I have to say, I am surprised. Ellie has blundered away a winning position. She's allowed a stalemate, and that's going to be the talk of the day. I mean, even if she wins the match,
stalemate, yeah.
We know that when the interviews come, we are going to be talking about that stalemate.
But I'm not gonna ask that. I mean, it's painful for me, so I cannot ask it. It's like asking you about you not able to win while being rook up, against me. But it's like asking you that,
But you are asking me that. So you clearly don't care about my feelings. It's a very one-sided friendship. I think I'm ending our friendship right now. So everybody watching, it's over. This friendship is done. I'm not commentating with you anymore. And, well, you're on your own. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Mic drop, and you can just go, yeah? You can drop your headphones. I don't see a mic. But yeah.
I have a mic, and everybody's asking me if they can be friends with me. And the answer is probably not, but maybe. Depends. You got to earn it. You can't just ask for it. Anyway, back to the chess. Knight E4 played. Are you going to take with the F-pawn if I take you on E4?
Yes, I would. I would take on with the F-pawn and go E5 next.
Fair. Just trying to free up some space for your pieces. And E5 happening. It's pretty much no matter what. It seems like Ellie really understands these positions. She gives up the two bishops early, but she gets very quick play. And you said yourself, Vidit, that you played this type of style throughout your childhood, and it just allows you to play very quick moves with a clear plan. And it's frustrating for white because you should be better with the two bishops. At least that's how you feel, but that's not always the case to make it happen.
True, because like for two bishops, you need to have open position, and it's depends on a lot of factors. You just cannot take out two bishops and claim advantage. Like if you get knight d5 here, you would be better with white. Right. So it depends on a lot of factors. So that's what she takes.
Is f4? There it is. I was about to ask, and she plays at f4 just to keep the e5 pawn safer, to make this bishop look not so good on h2. But the light square bishop now has more room to work with.
I would still prefer white.
I don't.
No?
No, because knight c5. Just give me some improvement with my pieces. Queen h4 will come at some moment. Hitting h3, hitting f2.
Bishop f5. Okay, bishop c2 also makes sense. Knight e4 or bishop e4?
Bishop f5, bishop e4 definitely would have been the move. And now I'm not sure. Bishop at a5.
a5.
Seems a little slow and unnecessary.
Yeah, she likes to push the a pawn as we have seen in the previous match.
Yes. So what about
EF, rook G1.
Exactly
Get
what I was
the
thinking.
rook in the center, yeah.
Or start with rook G1. There it is. That way there's at least a added
F-
tension.
But now you have 94 kind of moves to worry about, right? Or not so
True.
much.
But 94 I just take. And so 94
Yeah.
take,
King
take,
A1,
King
yeah.
A1, and E5, F4. All these are problems. I didn't like A5. It just felt a little slow. So queen takes E3. There's some rook F3 stuff. Now rook takes F2. Maybe not yet, but I'm eyeing that square. Oh, or yet. So now the position's opening up. Vida. Queen takes E5 looks strong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Queen takes E5 was very technical. Bishop E5 is not bad either, no?
No, of course it's not bad, but I'm 0 for 1 in that prediction. So how do you continue this for white? Like you're sort of looking like all your pieces are in pretty optimal squares, but you have no threats.
Exactly. Have to be tricky.
So bishop d4 is no threat because taking on c5 and b takes c5 allows my rook to start.
The thing is with black also, it's not so easy to come up with moves.
Yes, we're in this mutual struggle of, hey, my position looks excellent, but
it's a stalemate.
Yeah, so should I offer a draw? Or should I go buy some McDonald's?
I think McDonald's is never sponsoring us. That's clear.
I don't never say never. We talked about this. You told me you were a believer. Now you're.
Hey, wait, rook e6? What?
What?
I just missed that. Rook e6?
I wasn't even looking. Yeah, rook c2.
Rook c2. Rook c2. Okay. Queen e3, and then rook e7, or am I missing something? Maybe you have queen g6 check in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I do. But still, it looks very suspicious.
Or you can go bishop f5. Oh, doesn't matter.
Queen d3 threatening a pretty important check on h7.
Intermediate move. Like now you should play knight f8. Probably.
That's a sad move to play.
Yep. Agreed. Or take on c2.
No. No.
Why not? Okay, queen c2 just. Yeah.
You know that if this were your game, you would not be sacrificing your exchange. So don't do it to other people. Only I can do that. Stop stealing my ideas. Sacrificing pieces is my shtick here. No? You get all quiet on me and it makes me feel self-conscious.
Sorry, I just like to hear sometimes what the people are saying and not to miss out on any questions or something or compliments.
You're a generous guy. Honestly, we don't deserve you.
Knight g6.
Knight g6.
Why are you being so nice today? I'm not used to it.
Wait, knight g6 is a rook e7? No. But
knight e7.
I was trying to sacrifice my rook to h7, but it doesn't work. Why am I being so nice today?
Yeah, why are you being so nice today?
I don't know. Are you upset about it? No, knight g6 feels right. What else can black do? Because rook e7 is a very deadly threat. Rook f3, I guess, is possible. That looks terrible. Just take on f3. Just rook f3 and resigns.
Queen f3. Never say resigns.
No, trade on f3.
Yeah. It's just lost.
This is actually as bad as it gets.
Yeah. She misplayed. Like she should not have allowed so much play for in the first case. You know, she had many chances to play bishop e4 or knight e4.
Bishop takes f3 here. Not over. Rook f1, bishop e4.
Rook f7.
Oh, you're gonna take on g7. I forgot about that move. If you didn't have rook takes g7, I'm still in the game. But nope.
I have rook c7.
But then I have knight e6 at the end, and I'm still.
I have rook e7.
Just leave me alone. I was trying to make.
I don't have rook f8, but okay. Rook e7, rook c7.
Did it? Let fetch happen. Let it happen.
I love it. I love it when people say it's the only move, and then you suggest 3-4 moves, and it kind of gets on the other person's nerves. I love it.
This is over. So she's thinking, she's spending her time. This will be the second to last game in this time control, by the way. I looked at the clock. So they will have time for one more 5-minute game. And Vida, let me ask you something. So as Eric goes on to take
Isn't it like 75 minutes? Oh, okay, so it's like one more minute. Yeah, one more game. Right.
Yeah. But as Eric goes up 2 games, my question for you is, does Ellie have an advantage in the quicker time controls because she always has a huge lead on the clock in these Blitz games?
Yeah. I think as I said, it will be a close match. Don't count it out. It will be a close match because she's not playing bad, but at some points, like, one or two moves are completely shocking.
Right.
She just has to be more consistent with the moves, and then it will be a very close match. Eric is not making tactical oversights. I think that's been his biggest strength, I feel. Relatively, at least, not making many oversights.
I agree.
Because in Blitz, of course, you blunder some things, but...
Yeah, he seems to be quite sharp in some of these tactical battles, but unfortunately for Ellie, it really has not seemed that she's been as alert as possible. And for instance, she blundered that piece in the game. Was a game? Well, I don't remember which game at this point, but she blundered the piece on D2 at some point. The game she was up in exchange, a clear exchange, and she just went bishop f5 and lost her bishop. I mean,
up and queen. Yeah.
If anyone has spoiled opportunities, it has been her.
It's Ellie. Yeah. Like if you just take that stalemate game also, and it would be a different match. Bishop d8 resigns. No resigns. I have to stop saying resigns.
You could resign this position because after taking on b6, white is up how many pawns? 4?
Doesn't matter.
Wow, you're a changed man. This is just, you're showing the people that growth is possible.
After that game, that was such a shock to me. That was a big shock to me. That stalemate.
That stalemate was...
Like you have 20 seconds, With one, 5 seconds, I can understand that it can happen.
But I saw Ariantari let you checkmate him because he pre-moved bishop takes g2. So
you saw that, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he had plenty of time on his clock, and these things happen.
Yeah, he pre-moved, yeah.
All right, so we have a 2-game lead for Eric Rosen as we enter the final game of the 5+1 portion. We see that IM Paehtz takes a pretty calm approach to this opening, where she doesn't even play for the f4 lines. Like oftentimes when you play the early bishop's opening or play a sort of Vienna structure, this is not Vienna, it's a more Italian game. In fact, it says transitioned right into an Italian game. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you play for f4 if you haven't committed your knight to f3. She chooses this variation, very safe and sound.
I think she wants to go knight d2 and g4, I feel, I have a feel, because she's kind of desperate to win a game. That's just my gut feeling.
And Eric's smart to not castle yet because as you were saying, g4, g5 with the hook on h6. That's a very forceful attack. By not castling and g4.
I told you, with it means to know.
You did tell me that. You haven't proven it. You haven't given me any dictionary where I could look that up and find out if that is accurate. So I believe you. I trust you as a friend, but I still am skeptical. Being skeptical is a good thing. So knight g3, going right into f5.
I like white's position. Always easier to play.
Me too. And
what would you play here? Not easy to come up with moves, right?
Maybe queen d7 and castle long, but that still looks...
Queen d7, knight f5. Would you go rook g8?
Yeah, I was just going to get very sort of passive for a second.
I would then play bishop e3 and take with the pawn just to get this f4 square. So it's happening. So queen d7, knight f5, rook g8. Bishop e3.
Yeah, that looks good.
I think Eric has to move faster, at least in the initial phase. He has been a bit slow.
Yes. That's why I asked you about the 3-minute time control, because while Eric has the lead in this portion here, he's always been down a minute on the clock. Pretty much every game we've seen thus far, he is the one down a substantial amount of time. So I think in 3 minutes, this should help her chances.
Yeah. It's very important for her to win this because then she's right back in the match. But if she loses this, then 3-point deficit is kind of hard psychologically.
Right.
Fe. I'm predicting both of their moves.
We're on fire. You're doing an excellent job.
I'm very proud of myself.
Queen takes e3 is a weird looking move, but it does stop black from castling queenside because then queen a7 happens.
Did she play queen e3?
No, I'm just saying she went fe3. I'm just saying you can also take with the queen. But as Vidit was talking about, now this pawn on e3 takes care of the f4 square. Eric drops his knight back to e7, but you still don't especially want to take on f5.
Black is fine,
like
actually. Actually,
yeah.
black is fine. It's not so bad.
It's not that bad, says Vidit. I like that move, bishop c2. I was actually about to recommend it, and the reason why is that you don't allow black to make too many trades. Eric wanted to take on b3, take on f5, clarify the position, but now, no matter how you take on f5, we still have more minor pieces, and white has more space to work with.
Right. And now d4 is an annoying move, you know?
For sure. Putting pressure on e5.
Yep. Bishop c2, I like it.
And Eric, once again, going to the think tank, down a minute on the clock. You want to play d5 as black, but you hang the e5 pawn. Can't get away with that. Queen b5 is really just a one-move threat on b2, and it's not even threatening it because bishop.
Yeah, it's not even threat. Yeah. Yeah, I think GF is the move, and then g6.
I'm taking EF.
EF, then I don't like EF.
Well, it's because you didn't suggest it, but now that you're looking at it, you're like, oh, actually, I kind of like that move.
No, but knight c6, because GF, d4, you know, I have this like super nice center.
Yep.
I'm old school. I like solid center and stuff like that.
What's wrong with white's
maybe e4 ideas
castle queen
now.
side? There it is.
E4 d5, e4 knight d2 d5.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
completely fine.
I can go knight b3 to c5 and just not bother you on the queen side, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, even rook e8 allows d5, and now e4 next move. I don't like rook e8.
I don't like it either. Look how much space white has. E4. Yeah, this is not pleasant.
And always like a big time difference, like a minute and a half.
Right.
As usual.
And so look at these knights on a7 and h7. So he's trying to stop g5 over here on the king side. h4, g5 still possible, of course.
h4,
and
yeah.
Bishop d3, just trying to cut this knight away from b5 or something like that. Not really necessary.
People is saying that we are not reading the chat, but I am keeping a watch on it. So
I'm also keeping a watch, and I saw that comment.
I see Greg Shad in the chat. Shout out. He won the match yesterday, right?
Yes, he did. And also, there's a comment I see on YouTube saying, "Hey, Vidit, eagerly waiting for the April 25th charity games." So people are looking forward to your charity chess on the 25th with Vishy, with Tanya. I forget who. Nihal.
Nihal and like where some, they're very famous comedians.
And they will be able to tell puns that will actually be good. So thank you for organizing this event, everybody. So I can hear good puns from actual comedians, not from my friend Vidit, who struggles sometimes with his jokes. Hey, Vidit, I have a question for you.
I don't think I struggle with my jokes, just to put it out there, but you know, it's like they say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, and I think it's the same when it comes to joke. You have to have the taste to appreciate it. Anyways, back to the game. White is better.
What do you think about white's spatial advantage here?
I love it. I like space advantage.
And wait, is that queen almost trapped? No, b6.
No, queen b6. Queen b6. I think what white should play queen f3. Get this h5 pawn under attack. Would you play rook h8 here?
Yes.
It's a sad move, but would you do it?
Yes, I would, because I like sad moves. And the reason why is g6 runs the problem of opening the f file, and the queen lands on f7. So something like this.
Yeah, rook h8 happened.
I put the queen on f8. I did Botez gambit by accident, but queen.
Bishop d3 now, and then queen a4, right? Rook c1.
What is white trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, I want to exchange one knight with black, and I would just go knight c5 at the first chance.
Well, you just had a chance, and he played queen to b6.
And also play c6 later on, you know, open up. c4, c4 looks weird. Wow. Now knight d2, yeah.
You said there should be an emote for when I say ugh. You just said ugh, and I think we should emote for you. Queen a3. Sure. Bring that another queen b4.
Okay, yeah. Queen b4 also possible. Queen e3. Yep. But I would go c6 here. It's like a tickling move, you know. You kind of
just a challenge.
Self-explanatory. He wants to play b5. I've understood Eric's game. He wants b5.
Okay, at least b5 is risky though.
Knight b3, attacking queen a5. Queen a5 is not even a threat because knight b3, knight d2 check.
But knight takes a5 is a threat.
Yeah.
But good eye on that, like king a8, queen a5, knight b3, queen a6, knight d2 check, and then you pick up the queen next, and black goes up a piece. So good tactical vision.
b6 is a concession. Okay.
Oh, take
not
on
easy.
c5.
It's very close.
Bishop a4. Bishop a4. Immediately.
And then what? King a8.
But your knight is stuck on a7, which is.
Or I could play c6. I could play c6, king c7.
c6 is risky, but I agree with you that
Yeah, you have to be believer. You have to believe.
We talked about this. You believer, you. So what is White's plan here?
A3, king a2.
Feels slow. Okay, at some point I was thinking bishop d7, queen a4, but it doesn't work right here. So a3 first.
King a2, rook b1.
Exactly. Play this slowly.
You know what I like to do in such positions is like just stop all my opponent's ideas, and that's more frustrating than coming up with something and then flag him.
Bishop b5. You're going to sack on b5? Or
no, I will not play bishop b5. Why would I play bishop b5?
Oh,
I will play rook c1, protect c4,
queen e2,
and then go queen e2. Yeah, that's my plan.
Because you want to open up the second flank. Right now on the queen side, black is totally locked up over here, and so is white. But the h5 pawn, that is the weakness in the position. Rook h3 played, okay. The rook can come over to c3 now, but queen e2.
Rook c3.
Play queen e2. Go after this pawn.
Yep. White has a fantastic... Oh no, why rook b3?
And c6.
Okay, rook b6.
f6, f6. Oh, just rook b6 and f6.
Oh, f6 is a good spot. F6
kick this knight and take on
I didn't
c6.
see that. I didn't see f6. Good spot.
And she has, there it is. Okay, she found it.
Look at the time difference again, like huge.
Yep.
Like 1.5 minutes against 20 seconds. And it's been the same throughout the match.
Rook f1, rook t. Okay, rook f1 was just decisive.
Rook d1, there was 94, by the way.
No, rook f1. Oh.
Queen c3, threatened. Rook f7 is threatened, by the way.
Yep. That's a really nice tactic.
King b6, good move.
Queen g5. Queen g5, take on h5, go after f7. There it is.
Yeah, nice. It's very hard to play this position. What I liked about Ellie in this game is that she really stopped all the counterplay.
She did.
And gave no chance. No chance to open up. That's what it was good.
And sometimes when you lose a couple of games that you should win, you get extra cautious.
Now I would take and go queen g5 just to kill all the counterplay.
That's really nice. You're saying take and play queen g5 because once the queen's on e7, you have to trade queens. Otherwise, you lose your knight on e3.
Yeah. I think even in Gelfand's book, he says that one of the best ways to convert is to kill all your opponent's counterplay.
Yep. And there it is.
Yeah, queen g5.
And I was going to say that Ellie is extra cautious in this game, and she played slowly, not going to the king side, because she's lost games in some tactical battles. And now she very wisely just says, okay, I've got everything under control, trading queens. The g-pawn starts pushing. The knight has to come back. Yep, g6.
And bring the king.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just don't bring it to e2.
Right, because then there's knight f4 check, and then you lose the pawn. So I would actually king e1, king f2. Oh, but actually that black king is coming very quickly over there.
Yeah, but this king c3 is nice. Take the a5 pawn and it should be lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was smart of her.
Very smart. And I like that she's like, taking a pause before playing. She has 30 seconds. Why not?
Because in case black went d5 at some point as a pre-move, and she doesn't want to pre-move king takes a5 and allow the d pawn to run.
Exactly.
She's learned her lesson, you could say.
Yep. Go bishop c6.
Wait,
okay, e4?
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Just take on c5 and then get a queen. Take on c5. What? Does this work? Yeah. What?
No, it does not work.
Oh, my gosh. No.
This is painful.
No. And she'll lose the queen. Queen g3 check. Oh, my gosh. She's going to lose this game. Queen g3 check.
No, I can't believe this. What am I?
Oh, this is so painful. This is so painful. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Vidit, I
God.
can't. This is. Oh my god, it's just so upsetting. What if she doesn't lose this game though? Like just keep the queen and then
Come
bring your
on.
king in.
Come on.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, it's a sad one. We will be going to our first break. Eric Rosen has a 3-point lead over IM Paehtz in what has been an absolutely shocking match thus far. When we come back, we will get ready for the 3-minute portion where IM Paehtz will hope her time advantage plays her to her edge. But so far, unfortunately for her, she has not been able to convert winning positions. We will be back. Stay tuned, everybody. And we are back getting ready for the 3-minute segment of the IM Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. And just to remind everybody that I am the main commentator here, but I also am playing a match alongside my good pal, Danny Wrench. He has an important match tomorrow in this very event. But after that, on Saturday, April 25th, he and I take on the Spanish commentators. So hopefully Team USA can win that matchup. And Danny will hope that he can get in a good state of mind before he takes on Wesley So in the Adopt a Danny special when he takes on one of the best players in the world, Grandmaster Wesley So from the USA. And finally, Danny will have to let his words do the talking rather than his questionable play when he does the state of Chess.com. So everybody should tune in just to hear what's going on behind the scenes at Chess.com, what's going on with the company, and all the good initiatives in store. Now that we've gotten all that taken care of, enough of the PSAs. Vidit, we're heading into the 3-minute portion. What are your thoughts?
Last game was completely crazy. I mean, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. Like, it was so winning. You don't even need to explain it. It was so winning. And I'm just shocked because it happened twice, yeah? Like,
Yep.
Just when you think it's over and then it's not. It's
Even,
just...
yeah, I was going to say, even in the end game, she made the move King D8 instead of King C8 when she's trying to promote the pawn on move 77. She had an option, and it just feels like literally nothing is going her way in these positions and under the duress of time trouble, and just the nerves are getting to her. But it's only a 3-point lead for Eric Rosen. It seems like Ellie is the faster player of the two. So in the 3-minute portion, less time to think for Eric, it feels like that should play to her advantage.
Yeah. She's playing faster, but the one thing is, like, when Eric is in time pressure, she should really take her time. She should really take her time and finish him off when she gets the chance. Don't let him off the hook.
And hey, do you recognize this opening, Vidit?
Yeah, we played like 1,000 games here. E6.
Yep.
Yes, that's what is happening.
You play this like hippo setup. It's very slow and casual. Hey, Vidit, this has to look familiar. But she plays a little bit more actively with knight to c6.
The good thing is that Eric saw our stream, so he has some pointers how to play with white.
Yes, some bad pointers and how to be like Vidit Gujarati and not take full advantage of a questionable opening. And the reason this opening is questionable from the black side is if you look at white center with the pawns on c3, d4, and e4, very well protected. Nicely centralized. E5 can be played at some moment to make the bishop on g7 look like it's not doing much of anything. And now b2 to b4 is also an option for Eric because what is this knight doing?
I just can't take this opening seriously. Like, you give away so much of space advantage, and you don't deserve to kind of like even fight. That's what I feel like. Whenever I see this opening, I feel like I should crush my opponent. But it's not easy because it feels like that and then you overextend.
Yes. And here's an example of it. Bishop h4 is met by a knight to f5, and you already remove one of white's bishops, a bishop back to d2, knight to d5. Then you play or try to play from like c4. You'll play b3, c4. But as you said, you start overextending, and once those pawns go forward, they're not coming back.
I have a feeling that she's on a tilt. Because she's playing really fast and like the moves which she play like d5 and stuff, it shows that she's kind of on a small tilt.
She certainly is, and she should be after what has happened in that end of the 5-minute. Because based on play, I don't think she should be down 3 points. But based on how she's played when she's completely winning, she should maybe be down 3 points. So that's a weird thing to state. The way she's played when she's winning.
Okay.
So just rook e8 here. Just defend the pawn. There we go. Good move. Don't trade anything just yet. She's probably considering if she can...
The people are going crazy because at some point she sneezed and they're like, use the sanitizer, wash hands.
I missed her sneezing. I've been focusing on the chess Vidit and not her sneezes. No. Bless you, my friend.
H4.
You want to go full aggressive attacking style.
What is queen d2? Bishop f3.
Oh gosh, what? Bishop takes f3 completely ruined white's pawn structure.
Yeah, she probably saw it a move late. Now go h4. What is queen d2? Play h4, h5.
Yeah, and even that, h4, h5 will eventually go g5. Of course, it's a good idea to just start attacking this fianchetto structure.
Knight e4 kind of shows lack of plan.
Yes.
I would even play h6, f5,
I like it. Just taking away the g5 square from the knight before playing f5. And d5 was a consideration at some moment, but you have, of course, to get your queen off the e file before you play like that. So f5 played. Knight to g5. What's her idea?
Oof. No, this is ugly. This is ugly.
Oh, giving the e5 square for this pony to just hop right in. Okay, knight c6. The d pawn is pinned, and queen there.
Queen b2. Just d5 is it's like a hanging sword,
Right.
Dangerous.
But dangerous for both, because when you play move like d5 and you get an isolated pawn, you can come to regret it. Right now, h6.
Yeah, but you have to consider d5 at every move, yeah? That's what I meant by hanging sword, yeah.
Yes. And you still are considering d5.
See, that's why I wanted to play h4, not allow g5. Why would you allow this expansion? Play h4. Completely stop it.
Because if you get g4 in, that knight is kicked, and then d4 is a victim of the position. And look at that bishop on b1, Vidit. It's not really doing all that much here. So d5 finally is...
I see that Robson Ray has joined us. Shout out to him.
GM Ray Robson rooting for his former college teammate, Eric Rosen. They both attended Webster University, which is led by Susan Polgar. Look at this g4 move, saying, please take my knight on c6. I'm taking right on f3, opening up the king side. But
you also get the g file, so...
Yes, it's a fight for the g file. Who gets it first?
White.
You think so? I'm going to agree to disagree with you, my friend.
Yeah, not completely clear. But ED now? Does it work?
Wait, what your G7? Oh, because the back rank checkmate is what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
But ED, bishop G7, you have to take me on E2.
Yeah.
Then I take back with my rook. F5 is hanging.
Queen G7?
Yeah, you're right. There's back rank checkmate. So if I take on F5, you take on C4. And
okay, this also makes sense. Take on C3 and go ED. But now you have CD. Which doesn't happen, obviously.
And CDs are a thing of the past, Vidit.
Nice.
Knight D4.
You're catching up.
Knight D4.
You're catching up. I would have played Knight F5. Knight D4 was cool. You should have played Knight D4. Knight D4 was nice.
Queen E2 was also pretty cool. Just bringing the queen to try to check me on the back rank.
CDs are the thing of the past. I like your comment.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
So knight takes d5. The queen has to stay touched to the e1 square. So
yeah,
queen d2.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to like White's position a lot.
Queen e5. Hello.
Oh.
What was happening after queen e5?
That was the nicest way you could have said it. Hello. I felt like you were talking right to me. Queen takes d5 check now is the problem. So queen e5, queen takes d5 in the 97.
Knight f5, queen h6, queen g7.
Yep. Checkmate. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong.
It's going wrong, yeah. It's tilt. It's just tilt.
Just nothing can go right for her at this point. And
I just hear in the chat that the pun bar is low.
It is low because I've been commentating with you and Danya, and you guys just keep hitting me with these. I don't even know how to describe them.
4-point lead. 4-point lead.
So this should be a more comfortable position for her. She's played knight d2, e4.
I like black usually in such positions. I like this double pawns, b5, b4 stuff. So
yeah,
you have to play a3, b5, rook c1. You should not allow b. Yeah.
Take on d5. Oh.
D.
Yeah, why did she take on d5 first? It's because you said rook c1, so she played rook c1, and now
I thought it was obvious that you should, She's playing so fast,
she's angry.
Yeah,
she's very angry. Yeah, this is... Okay, you do get compensation. Take on f5.
Yeah, take on f5 and f3 is what
exactly.
But now she's in that mode where you're like, I don't care. It's that kind of mode, I'll just play. And then you start winning games and then you feel super excited.
Right.
So it could happen.
GF now is just strong. GF and F3 because H6 softens the G6 square for a future rook to G1. So take on F5.
GF is always right, if you know what I mean.
Nice. And she does it. F3. Okay, I guess she could play F3 for the next bunch of moves, but
yeah, she should have played F3.
The king is better on F2 than E2 anyway. Okay, take it and play F3. You think it's going to happen? Nope.
No, that F3 should have been played ages ago.
Yeah, I quit. Nothing I say happens. It feels like I'm not being listened to. What do you recommend I do?
Bishop B4. Sorry, I was just... look at the turnaround. Like black is now winning. Just knight B4 and rook A2 and 2 bishops, pawn up.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting to see this, honestly. I mean, what? Just rook A2, take on D2, F4. This is
rook E8.
Bad from worst to worst is really how I'm seeing this game.
Yep.
Yeah. She needs a victory, and this kind of win at all cost mentality is costing her because she's not winning.
Sorry to cut you off, but I just realized that in such situations, the best way to do is like be extremely resilient and not to lose a game. You have to first stop the bleeding.
Right.
And you have to be extremely resilient. Like you have to play, try your best chances, be very tricky. And then once you get the rhythm back, then you play. Going on tilt hardly ever helps. You lose more than you win.
And that's been very clear in this matchup where she's trying to force a win from thin air, and Eric is playing way too well and resourcefully for her to just win because she wants to win. And here comes E3, and she resigned.
Oh. No, I think she's frustrated. Naturally, we can sense that. And Eric is just sipping his tea and collecting the points.
Yes. And exchange French. Interesting decision. C4. Is he going to play that line, or is he? Yep, there it is. The more aggressive version of the exchange French. And so the bishop on C4 eyes this F7 pawn. Black needs the castle quite quickly. Is knight G5 a move here? Wait, what? What's wrong with knight G5? Wait,
knight G5 was resigns. Knight G5 was resigns.
Knight G5.
Knight G5 is winning.
Queen H5, threatening F7, threatening H7 with checkmate.
Yep. It was just there's nothing more to explain.
And that's an example where you assume your opponent wouldn't blunder on move 7 or whatever. Move 7. So you just play a quick move as white. But that was just crushing. And okay, black's not doing so badly here. It's not particularly lovely, but it's not so bad. E5. She's continuing to do this, Vidit.
Yeah, I would go D6 and bishop B3 and knight E4 and just enjoy the position. Okay, any move is good.
Yeah. Bishop takes G6, then B takes C3. Yeah. So don't take on G6 right now.
Why not? Even that is good. BC, bishop C2.
You're trying to go for a checkmate and just line up the queen.
Yeah.
But he's thinking, and she's up almost a minute on the clock. And this is why I thought she would have good chances in the 3 minute. But she can't she can't stop the bleeding just yet. And bishop takes G6 is played. Take on C3. So he'll play bishop C2, presumably. And I actually don't mind black's position here, though I understand what you're saying, that there's a potential for a kingside attack. D6. That's a pawn that might just be gobbled up.
Bishop C2?
The bishop C2, I always said bishop A6.
Rook E1.
But then you're not getting queen D3, So like at least
rook B1 and then rook E7. Like, there are no pieces near black's king.
That's true. You're not wrong with that statement. Maybe rook E8 to E6 right now and do it quickly.
Even that, I think white has fantastic compensation.
Yeah.
Rook B2, no. Yeah, but rook E8, rook E6 was the best try, I do admit. Like, take the D6 pawn, at least remove that pawn from the position.
Why did she play queen d8 when she just brought her queen back to a5? There was no purpose of putting on d8 first, you know? And what can Eric do here? But this is the type of position that's very frustrating from white because you know you're much, much better here, but winning it is not that clear at the moment. And then you think, is queen c3 a threat? Is rook d8 takes d6 going to happen? Obviously, white is doing extremely well here, but you're now down 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. It's like a really stressful situation. Okay, so knight f5 is also worrying me in addition to queen d3 or queen c2.
Yeah, but queen a3 is nice. Queen a3 is nice. Take that pawn for... Like queen d3, would you play queen d3 or queen c2? Would you exchange queens?
Probably. My first instinct would be to play queen c2, but then I know g6 is happening, and how am I protecting this d6 pawn? But
knight f5.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, knight f5 is cool.
Just giving up the knight to go for a checkmate. This king is so weak.
I love it.
No fun. But wait, look at this 2-minute time advantage, Vidit. This is getting tricky because g6, knight f5, king h7, right? Like you're getting an attack, but you're moving very slowly. Queen d2 doesn't threaten anything. The rook on b2 is under attack. So black just needs to...
But you can take bishop g6 in the end, yeah? Like queen h6, queen b2.
Okay, king h7 is smart.
Kind of
knight...
What?
Knight ace... Oh, the queen's under attack. I was to blunder my queen.
No, but cb? cb?
Oh, queen d5 and just queen b2 or something?
Yeah. And then put queen on d4.
Yep. I like that. There it is. There it is. All happening. Queen d4. Oh, no. Like, she had 1 minute and 50 something seconds left.
Yeah. It's just, you have to play good chess. You have to really put problems.
That's the best advice.
No, you have to play like good moves. Bishop g6. Knight d5, queen b7.
Bishop g6. Look at Eric in time trouble finding that move. I would just play queen takes a2 here and hope that I can somehow survive. But yeah, it's not a
knight g8. But knight g8.
Oh,
I had missed knight g8. I missed knight g8.
Take this thing. Queen d5. Play queen d5. There it is. She's actually probably not even losing right now. Rook e8.
Why she's not losing?
She's only down 1 pawn, and I have faith that she's... Queen h5. And then knight g4.
F3.
Ah, you get an f3. But still, f3 is a very nervous move.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. What?
Wait,
knight takes d8.
Bishop e2?
Queen takes d1. At the very least, queen takes d1 and then knight takes d6. But... And only black can be better.
But wait, you even have queen. Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay, I mean, this is the position that you couldn't ask for something better from her perspective.
I stopped analyzing.
Oh, 94 f4, you lose the piece. So don't do that.
That was a good trick.
Just to show that the king goes here. You actually don't lose. You have king f5, so you actually don't lose the piece. But she just moves her king closer to the queen side, and now the black pawns because white's pawns.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Knight c4 is a great move.
He's so low on time.
Yep, she got it. King d5. This is the turnaround she needed.
Yeah, just play slow. Just convert.
You cannot possibly mess up, right? Right? She's messed up many.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
I'm sorry, Vidit. I'm sorry, but you can't possibly not win this game. King d3.
Don't jinx it.
C2. It's not stalemate. King d2. Get a queen. It's okay.
Oh, reason. Fine.
So
I think Eric, even Eric was like, I cannot do this. This is too much.
She must be relieved because she played a bad game and she won. And honestly, that's how she must be feeling, that like, I've been outplaying this guy and I can't buy a point. Now that I played a questionable game, I won. And now she's going to the Nimzo Larsen attack, which is 1b3. F4, it's all very suspicious stuff because the bishop on d6.
Rook f3, knight g4. I will go knight g4 and put like bishop g4 also makes sense.
Yep. Knight g4, there was knight g3, so she takes an f6, rook f2. I've had this position many times in online Blitz.
Hikaru plays all the time.
Yeah. Yes, he does. And it's very difficult for black because queen f1 here. And now that white has fully coordinated, look at your pawns.
Bishop e5. I'm a believer of two bishops.
I am too, usually, but I'm just talking from practical experience. It's not easy to play. Even if black is ultimately okay, just like the ideas in the position make it somewhat hard. Bishop e5, though, now. Bishop e5 threatens rook takes d2 and bishop takes c3. What?
Yeah,
No,
rook for rook d2. Rook for rook d2 was there.
No, I saw that, but after e takes, I wasn't quite convinced that this is worth it. Like d3 here, or rook e1 is even probably better. Queen c5, that's a good move. And c2 maybe is in trouble.
Queen c4.
Well,
rook c1 is sad. Rook c1 is sad.
Yeah.
She
went rook e1 and then put a rook back and then just blunders on this.
Like, I just want to go there, take the mouse, play 2-3 games, bring back the scoreboard, and then give it to her and then say, please, Now
rook e1.
I would not have played queen e3. But you're going to take on f2, take everything, play bishop c2, just take all the pawns.
But then rook e7, white has chances to hold that position. Now, of course, black is up a couple pawns and way better, but you do feel like the worst is sort of behind you. Is rook takes g2 a possibility here? No, right?
King g2.
No.
And then what?
I want to go bishop h3 check, but you just
why queen d4? Just take on f2, play bishop c2, 2 pawns up.
So do you think she could survive this?
No.
Well, he's taking a lot of time.
The tide is really not in her favor.
Wait, just rook d2, queen f2 here?
Yeah.
Or queen, or rook, yeah, I mean.
See, that's why, when you get a pawn, you should just take it.
And Vidit, watch out if you try to make a move like queen d7 or something, queen a7. So queen f2 is one of those moves that you're trying to trade queens to get the endgame. But if you're not careful as black, queen a7 comes, and here you can't do it because the rook on e1's hanging. But queen a7 comes, then you're like, uh-oh, the tables have turned very quickly. c4, reasonable, very reasonable.
I would play b6, just stop that knight on a4. That's sadist, but...
It's just mean. Makes sense, though. So what is black's plan to press for a win at this point? I don't think this is it.
Okay, shall I say a pun?
I'm scared, but sure.
A chess player went to the church and his sins were forgiven. Why? Because he had 2 bishops advantage.
Oh, that one's really bad. That one is beyond bad.
We are speaking about 2 bishops, so
that I need help, and the help I need is not from the 2 bishops that you just said in that pun. That was so bad. You're something else. Anyway, Ellie Paehtz is up
A5.
over a minute on the clock, and it feels like Eric he's not playing the optimal chess here. He had a great position early on. He still has these double pawns on the F file, double pawns on the C file. So creating a pass pawn will not be easy. And bishop B1 is always met by knight C3.
Knight C3, bishop G6, F5.
Yep. The bishop's trapped. The bishop's trapped.
Bishop C2. Bishop C2 now.
Because king D2, you have bishop E4.
Yep.
What about C takes B5 here? C, B, A, B.
No, then bishop C6.
No, knight C3.
Now I should take on C4, probably.
Wait.
King D2. King D2.
That was my idea.
D2.
But
King
this
D2,
is
bishop B3. King D2, bishop B3.
Right. That was my idea in the earlier position, and instead this is where we are. 94 played, because if you take, who's even better in this endgame? Wait, black can't be better. King takes.
King E6. Look at the time difference. It's insane. 2 minutes against like 16 seconds.
Do you play F5 check and just close everything down for white, or is there somehow it? Wait, what? Now black can play F5. I guess that's not a big deal. G5.
F6.
No, but then H4. Actually, white can win that with an outside pass pawn if you're not careful. You'd have to help me out a lot.
I think it's a draw, right?
Yeah, it should be.
So now what do you do?
Wait, now this is actually getting tough for white.
No, but G5 is still a draw, right?
Take?
Yeah, you should have played G5, I feel.
And here comes
H5. Now, H5. That's how you win. King H4 though. And then, okay, King H4.
Yep, and then it's getting close, but yeah, I guess because you can just start losing tempi for black with C6 or A5, but the white king, hey, HG,
Yeah, King G4.
And then King F6.
Oh yeah, King F6, that's just simple win, right?
Oh my gosh. And
that's
black has...
Yeah, King F6 is easy, just resigns.
Yeah, you shouldn't lose this position. This is just... She fought so valiantly, and then we're here.
Why is he wasting all his tempos? Why?
Wait, what just happened?
What?
What just happened? King E4. Now, wait, what's King F3? I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, it's a draw now.
That was so funny. That was such a simple win. You waste all your extra tempi, C6, A5, and crazy. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm struggling today. I'm gonna be honest with you. This has been a tough match to predict because the side that's
not with it. So.
Well, the side that is winning doesn't win. That's really what's happened throughout the match.
Yeah, true. I agree. And this is like the 5th time we see this opening.
Has there been a game where the end result matches the play?
No. I mean, there have been, but...
it's hard to remember at this point.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have the words for this. So bishop c4, knight g5. You can just play d5, I guess. Okay.
Knight d5. You would play or what?
No, d5.
Ugly.
Yeah, but knight d5 is also ugly. Just knight takes d5 here. Actually, wait, what about queen b3 here? Now you've 96 first. 96, queen e6, queen b3. Finally made it happen.
Nice. That's a good one.
So he's thinking he's going to find it. It's not going to be fun for her. There it is. Play knight takes f4 here out of just sad necessity.
No, please don't.
Yeah, why not?
8 is 8-4, yeah? Okay, it will be 9-4, I think. Because this position is like positionally also you're bad. And there's no hope. Yeah,
the queens are getting traded by force.
Yep.
How about... Nope. I got nothing for you here, Vidit. I've got nothing. No ideas whatsoever. Is she going to play knight takes f4 and give up her queen and hope that somehow she can survive? You're so quiet. I don't know what's going on, Vidit. Help me out.
I was thinking of a pun, but I'm resisting. I'm controlling myself. Let's not get carried away. Knight d5, and why not knight d5?
She's trading queens. He's trading queens, sorry. And then just going to win the endgame very easily. Bishop takes d6. Thank you for a second pawn. If you don't like bishop d6, play king d2, rook c1, and just win the endgame that way.
Bishop d6. Always take free pawns.
Always take them. Rook e8. Go for tricks. Wait, what?
Bishop f8.
Yeah. That hangs this rook here.
Why is he not taking? It's... okay.
He was just deciding if he should take on e6 or allow queen takes d5 and trade.
No, he just had a sip of tea before taking it. He's just like thug life.
Yeah, he looks pretty calm over there. I mean, I wish I had better commentary for what's happening in this match, but it's just total tilt.
Yep.
Total tilt. And after Ellie won that game, she had no business winning earlier. Then it feels like
which game?
That end game. Like she ended up winning the knight versus bishop end game where she was able to promote. You don't remember it?
No.
There was a pawn on d6 for white. White sacked the queen to go d7.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now that you remember and know what I'm talking about, it feels like after that game, she needed just to calm down and play her normal chess, because when she's playing her normal chess, she can take on Eric Rosen, but she keeps doing this like offbeat openings and questionable lines, and then Eric just finds a tactical sequence that crushes her.
Yep.
Oh,
King e5. Okay, I mean, it's hard to even commentate when it's like +10.
You would win King of the Hill with King e5. Watch out for knight takes b2. That's the one thing you have to be careful about, because if I get knight takes b2 and rook takes c3, then I have very legitimate counter.
I would play knight b5, king c5, knight a7.
You're so greedy.
I just take free pawns.
Oh, then I mean, that's good. That's good for you. I have nothing to say.
I like that he's just thinking, wasting more time of the 3-minute section.
Right. Because with a big match lead of 4 games this far.
Rook c2.
Wait, knight takes b2. Knight takes b2. No, knight takes b2. Oh my gosh, knight takes b2 check is exactly what I was saying. The rook can't take rook c3, and then black actually has tremendous counterplay here.
I love your expression of knight b2, knight b2.
It's just these players are so much better than allowing these tactics, and something is not right.
Yep.
I'm exasperated here. So
yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't even want to suggest moves, because what's the knight a2.
So knight a2 played. That's a good move.
Just
knight b4.
Play b4 and trap the rook.
b4 trapping the rook. Rook c7 first. Rook f1 check, picks up the bishop on g7, but then rook takes b2 at the end.
Yeah,
so
play b4. Yeah.
Good move.
And she should resign and just
a4
resign.
next. Play a4.
Resign.
Okay, knight c3 also works, but the rook is trapped in b5.
It was even more sad to play rook a7, and not even give the a4.
But Vidit, I mean, knight takes b2 check is something that Ellie has to see, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's now she doesn't believe that she can come back. Like, you can sense it. That fighting spirit kind of is, she's just playing out of inertia. She needs like 1 or 2 wins at least to make her believe that it can happen.
That's what I was thinking. I think if she can win 2 games in a row, then she starts believing in herself. But until that happens, she's just like, this match is out of control. I'm down 5 points now. And she just is probably disappointed with her play. That's all chess players are like.
Yeah,
they may win
I can
games.
imagine.
Yeah, you win a game and you're like, oh, I played terribly. I should have done this, and this. Like, wait, but you just won one of the biggest games of your life. And you're like, yeah, but I played awfully. I blundered a pawn, and I gave a square that I shouldn't have given up. That's just the nature of chess players. And for Ellie here, I think she's doing a good job in this particular game. We keep saying that, but
yeah, I think one of the things what you should do is like, as a chess player, I've noticed that we should never use the word blunder. Because it has such a strong impact psychologically. Oh, I blundered. Then, it completely shakes your confidence.
Yeah.
Like, what I've learned is just to say, okay, I made a mistake. It doesn't have that big an impact. So it doesn't affect your next game. So whenever now I make a bad move, I just say it's a big mistake or a big mistake, or just mistake. But there's no thing like blunder.
It's easy for you to say when you so rarely make mistakes because you're a super GM. I'm just kidding, of course. But I think that's a very good thing to keep in mind, that when you make a mistake, it's not an indictment on your personality or like on you.
Yeah, you don't take it too personally, because blunder, you think, how can I make that? Like, mistakes happen.
But in some ways, it's better to like blunder your queen on move 8 than it is to lose a game where you're winning and then everything just goes wrong and you lose a game that you're up a bishop in, like the end game. Because if you blunder move 8, you're like, that won't happen to me again. But when you slowly lose the thread, you start questioning all of the quality of your moves.
Mm-hmm. Is it b5 doesn't work? Yeah, there is ab and bishop f2 check.
Right. So she was
a5. I don't like a5. I would like to keep this, this b5 thread, because it was better to keep that. I would have gone castles maybe.
I think castle, there's some knight h5 stuff that she's been...
Yeah, then king h2 or something.
Yeah, I like that idea for sure. And bishop e3.
Yeah, this is too soft. Bishop a5 and bishop e3. Not in the spirit. No, bishop c4 and knight a7. You don't lose a pawn.
No, you don't lose a pawn, but this feels like a decent.
Good change for
situation.
black. It feels like a good exchange for black.
Just don't go knight c6, then bishop a4 is no fun. Okay, c6. So I want to put my bishop on b3, go after f7, but you're going to go knight b5, and I'm not really getting anything. Bishop b3 played. Good move, though.
Now knight g5, you should avoid. But okay, knight d6 you have, yeah. So I would go... Okay, knight d6, knight d4 is a threat.
So
Kind of annoying, actually. How do you even defend that? Oh, no,
very
it's
hard
not
to
easy.
stop.
Knight d6 is very hard to stop.
Knight
Easy.
d6, and you win this pawn. So how do I stop it?
You can't probably.
Don't you
No,
tell me what I can.
no. You can go rook a1, or like knight d6, queen d3, knight d e4, queen c2.
Queen c2, exactly.
Yep.
And the e5 pawn is falling once the knight moves.
Yep.
Agreed.
No, but not queen c5.
That doesn't look right. Queen b6.
Yeah, this is where what I meant by resistance. You have to keep finding small tricks. You have to not give it easy.
But she may
knight
be...
d5. Knight d5.
She has way more time, though. So, but knight d5 is a good move.
Bishop d5, cd.
And then c4. Just play that. Just do it. And do it quickly. Bishop d5, c d5, c4. Undermine the defense of this knight on e4 and just play. You have to. I'm not saying it's good. I know black is better. But your opponent's 55 seconds? What? Actually, it's kind of interesting.
Wait, what happened? I missed the last moves.
She went rook takes knight on e4, giving up her queen. And
But
getting...
okay, it's 2 pieces for a queen. That's like not supposed to work.
Oh,
Queen
please
e5.
play. Okay, I got to show this. Analysis board time. Instead of queen e5, if you played f6, not only is knight f7 check, but possibly knight g6 is mate. Hg6,
That's
h4
nice.
checkmate. Have to show that when it's available. The king is out of options.
That is nice.
So instead, we see the trades. And what this bishop needs to do is reach the c8 square somehow. Is rook
I
takes
still
a6?
feel like rook takes a6 doesn't work. But
No, it doesn't.
good find.
You have to
Now
think
G6,
outside the box.
G6, king G7.
G6 made bishop c4. You just have to keep an eye out on bishop takes a6 sacrifices.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, bishop...
E2.
Wait. Is there a sacrifice there?
What?
No, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It's close.
There's rook d8. There's rook d8.
There's always rook coming back to d8.
Yeah. Rook e2 probably. Rook d1 will be a blunder here. Bishop h5, good move.
Yep.
Rook c2.
Bishop g4. Play bishop g4. Because bishop g4
is
threat.
nice.
Rook takes a6 is the threat.
Oh, that's such a clever move, Robert. Nice.
Because if you take
Bishop
on c3, I just take, and if you take the other way, I take.
Yeah.
He takes.
Bishop g4, I would go rook d8.
I'm just trying to show everybody the tactic that I'm looking for. So let's see. There it is.
That,
Bishop g4. He has 20
nice.
seconds. I think he's gonna miss it. I really do. There it is.
Yeah,
Rook a6.
rook a6.
Rook a6. I called that happening.
Nice.
And you were talking about resilience. She actually put up great resilience in this game.
Yep. In the end game, she did put up great resilience. I agree.
And here it comes, that b pawn. So rook a7, just go gobble b7. Or maybe do you throw in rook a6? Yeah, you get the check on b7 now.
I wouldn't have given the check, maybe.
Me neither, but she did it, and I'm just going to prove. Rook takes h7.
Rook h7, yeah.
Take all the pawns. There it is, b7.
b7, rook b2, bishop c8.
Maybe rook c7 and give up.
Rook
rook c7 anyway.
c4. Okay, now king. No, g3. Just or what to do?
Tough decision at this point.
Play a move which.
Oh, F4? I like that. G4, G5 is mate. She's trying to. How do you make this work? She's blundering the f pawn.
Rook
rook takes c3.
Rook c3. Rook h4.
Wait, what?
And then rook back.
Just give me the c pawn. Take on c3.
Yep.
She throws in the check first, and then take on c3.
Weird. That's weird. Why would you throw in the check?
I don't know, but as long as she takes on the c3, there. Okay, king g3. That's fine too. How is she going to win
king
this
h3. I'll play king h3 and
king h3 then g3.
Maybe. I don't know. Not so clear. Oh, what? Rook h4 was...
Rook g3, okay.
King h3.
She's just not playing king h3. There it is, finally. g3.
Rook b2.
A
Rook
rook move
e4?
anywhere. Yeah. Ooh,
F4. Why
Okay.
would you exchange rooks?
that was a strange decision, but can her king somehow make it?
No. It's just a draw. Rook b7, draw. Play
Oh,
rook
nice.
b7.
Rook b7 is a nice find. Check and rook b7 now.
Why to delay it?
He's playing for a win.
You can't play for a win in this position.
It's easy to forget about rook takes b7 because
Okay, it could be play rook b7 or he'll take it now.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Wow. Eric, I almost called you Eric. Vidit. Hey, Vidit. I don't know what to make of that game. My head is spinning.
No, it's I agree with you. It's the games. It's nobody's winning the one positions so far.
Yeah, that's really been the theme. And how many points? 5 points still in the lead for Eric. So this is not going well for Ellie. She needed to win that game somehow, even though she was losing to start with.
Yeah, White played very mysteriously in this game, like so many tempi down.
Yeah,
like
take on
a
e4.
very comfortable position. Take on e4, go bishop f5, go c5.
Yep.
Attack.
You're an aggressive
Attack is
lad.
the best defense.
Rook e2, c5. Okay, queen c7, knight d3. Bring the knight to d3.
93 bishop g5.
And then knight
And then g4.
Yeah,
then g4
I wanted to go knight f4 somehow, but you're...
Yeah, but rook e7, yeah.
Okay, but somehow...
This is the first time I see Eric playing so fast.
Yes.
Like, after a long time.
And somehow White's position actually turned out pretty good.
By the way, how much time do they have? Like, how many more games do you think they can play?
They have about 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes. So if this game ends relatively shortly, then they'll have at least one more after this. And I just want to shout out to everybody who's watching. I know
7,000 viewers. Thank you, everyone.
Across all the platforms, we have well over 8,000 as I look across here. So thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Vidit and I are trying to give you, as much enlightenment as we possibly can. It has been a whirlwind in this matchup. Both players have been playing some great games that have been totally ruined by tragic blunders. But right now it does feel like Eric Rosen, in the critical moments, he's finding the right path forward and holding on to tough positions, even winning some completely lost positions. And for Ellie Paehtz, unfortunately for her, she has struggled to
Bishop
maintain
d5. Bishop d5 probably. Or c4, c5. Isn't it very dangerous?
Yes.
By the way, I think this is going to be the last game of the 3-minute section. So I'll just tell another pun. If you're okay with it.
As if you need an excuse to tell a pun.
So why did the queen divorce with the king? Tell
me.
Because he kept exchanging queens.
Oh my gosh, that one is something. That one is something. I have to learn to stop letting you tell puns. Okay, king's on f6. So hey, I have a question for you that's not a pun. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Why is the black king on f6 in this position? Bishop takes d5, rook e6. Bishop takes d5, rook e6.
Yeah, that's finish. ED?
ED still rook e6.
King f, and then queen c7, yeah.
Then I take on c7. So you didn't answer my question, and you don't have an answer to it, because why is this king on f? There it is.
No. Why is the king on f6?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a pun, and I was expecting an answer.
No, there was no pun. It was a serious question. Unlike you, Vidit, I'm trying to talk about chess here.
No, I don't know why king is on f6.
And that hurts, because now it's +6 for international master Eric Rosen.
So it's like how much of a lead? 6 points?
6 points.
That's a lot. Very hard to recover from such a big lead. Actually, before the game, I thought it would be like a close match, but apparently this tilt was a big factor. Knight 6 is a bad move. Queen a4, and now knight e5 is coming.
Yep. We've heard from Maxime Vachier-Lagrave when he's played in the speed chess championships how tilt happens, and it really can impact even the top players in the world. And well, IM Paehtz, she's extremely strong, but you could tell in this match she was getting so frustrated as early as game 3 when she stalemated Eric Rosen up a queen because she pre-moved something. He didn't capture her queen, and then it was a stalemate. So
there was an ID4 move, by the way, instead of queen c4. That was nice to just go knight c6.
Yep.
And ruin the pawn structure.
That looks like the perfect Catalan.
By the way, you talked about MVL and he plays in the Speed Chess Championship. So why does MVL always reach the finals of Speed Chess Championship?
He never does.
He does. No?
No. Wesley So played this year against Hikaru.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Were you going to try to set up a pun?
Yeah, you ruined it.
I'm glad I ruined it. See, I've learned.
You ruined it. You ruined it so bad. Oh, God. Okay, fine.
Are you going to say it now? I mean...
No, of course not. You ruined it.
Yeah, but
it's gone.
I've ruined many things that don't stop you, so...
Knight d6 is a questionable decision. Why would you take that? Now I like black's position.
Well,
go d5 or bishop h3.
How many bishops does white have? 2, and that's probably why the capture on d6 happened. But I agree with you that, I mean, in theory, top players, you yourself, you've said you like the bishop pair, but in this particular position, black is so solid and ahead in development. Watch out for the soft b6 square, though. Knight
Queen
b6
d8.
is
Yeah, you have queen to go
d8,
queen d8.
Bishop e3 maybe.
b5, b5.
You're too good.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't comment on chess sometimes. So to make you feel good, and then, you know, you can have your moment.
Oh, now he's talking trash. Oh, Vidit. Knight b6. Toss that pony in.
Queen e6.
Okay. Knight g4, good move. Maybe
Queen b3 or something. No, it's kind of sad position actually for white.
Yeah. Queen.
I would play. Yeah, I would have gone d5. Long time ago.
F3.
I smell tactics somewhere.
Do you? What do tactics smell like? It's not a pun. I don't have puns up my sleeve like you do. I was making it. I'm just asking in jest. Okay, we're moving on here. So the dark squares on the queen side are vulnerable for black.
E4.
Rook c1, knight c5.
Go e4 and just crush the position.
E4 is probably a good move. Wasn't played. Knight c5. Queen b6. Uh-oh.
b4.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think it's... Now she's in one of those modes like she's waiting for the match to finish. That's the feeling I get. The way the games are going. Also, from her expression, I can see that she's really not
happy to be here.
Yeah. Yep.
Bishop e3. Just play that move.
Bishop e3, queen b4.
Then rook b1.
Take the pawn.
Then rook b1.
Rook b1.
Go for some kind of compensation.
Yeah, queen b4 is bad, I must admit. Maybe just go d4.
And then I can take your knight on e6 and just...
Yeah, but de3. And that pawn on e3 is a killer.
I hate my position no matter what. Rook c7. So now bishop e3, I guess.
I think bishop e3 isn't happening today.
No, it's not. But what else? What can happen today? Because the position looks really bad.
At the position of the king and the bishop. It looks so sad.
Yes,
play bishop g2 actually. Play bishop g2 at least or something.
Oh, that's a good move.
No, but takes rook c8 and you're still losing the pawn.
Right, but I'd rather lose a pawn than just get checkmated on the diagonal because and my bishop on h1, king on g1.
a3? What is a3?
I don't know, did it? I really don't know.
Bishop e3 happened. Congrats. That was the point of a3, to protect b4.
Yep. I learned that the hard way.
Bishop d2.
Yeah, bishop d2 and
take on c5. Yep.
At some moment, f4 will be actually annoying for black.
No, actually, I'm waiting just to get a chance to play g4 and go king f to king g3.
Oh, you want to be that kind of guy.
But why bishop d7? I would have taken on c1 and gone queen b1.
Can you just take on b4, take on c1, and then play bishop c6, and then...
Or knight d5, yeah.
Well, I don't want to allow f4, so knight d5 is...
Rook c2, rook c2.
Nice. Fit it. You have to go rook e to d1 here. And then bishop a4 or something.
Yeah, bishop. I would have played king h7. I'm a tricky guy, so. Or I would have played rook c6 or something, threatening rook d2.
Yeah.
But this is also lost.
She didn't have to take on c2. That was a mistake by her again here.
Yeah.
She could have played an f4.
It was already a hopeless position.
Well, no. Instead of rook takes c2, she could have played f4 and just try to play this way. Like you.
Rook e2.
You play what?
Rook e2. No, I'm just talking about the current position. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, don't worry. You should ignore me. I ignore me most of the time.
No. I didn't mean to, but I was just looking at the position. So.
I'm proud of you for looking at the position, because normally you're the one telling me some line that I don't know what you're talking about. And this time I was the one who was off into a different variation. Oh gosh, just rook anywhere, the knight e3.
It's just lost. Doesn't matter.
Bishop b5 here. I mean, every move is good.
I think it was psychological thing, she just didn't. Bishop g2, rook f2.
Yep.
0-1. Nice. It was, I think, psychological, not able to recover. I think that's what costed her all these games.
Or maybe she's just giving Eric a huge lead because she knows how good she is in bullet. We will see when we come back, because that is the end of the 3-minute portion. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll see if Lizzie Paehtz can mount a comeback in what has been a one-sided affair on the scoreboard in Eric Rosen's favor. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're coming up on the final time segment of this match, but the action continues just tomorrow because the IM GM Speed Chess Championship has 3 more opening round battles to happen, and that includes the marquee matchup of round 1, Friday, April 24th. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It is International Master Teddy Coleman against the one and only International Master Danny Reg. Before that, Vid and I will have the call for Kostya Kavutsky versus Lawrence Trett. I know a lot of people want to see Lawrence lose that matchup. That seemed to be the vibe of the chat. But on a serious note, that is a great matchup between the 8 and 9 seeds. And finally, last but certainly not least, on Saturday will be Carissa Yip taking on Dean Ippolito, the 16-year-old international master who beat Zhu Wenjun in the Karen's Cup, will face the Dean of American Chess, Dean Ippolito.
Exciting matchups.
Exciting for sure. And we are about to get started with the bullet portion with Eric Rosen up 7 points in the match. It really has not been IM Paehtz's day. And for Eric, I cannot wait to ask him about that stalemate trick that he pulled off in the third game of the match. Don't want to bring up
that was clever actually, to go to king to 8.
Yep. And let's get off. Let's go with the bullet portion. I'm ready for it.
Have the game started?
What?
Have the game started?
They have not, but now they have. Right after I said they have not, they start. So
bullet is, I think, one of the toughest to commentate, but sometimes the most entertaining.
Oh, well, I've done a bullet chess championship in my day, so I get used to it. You have to be like an auctioneer, speak really quickly and hope what you're saying makes sense. And right now you see the knight on c6 hitting the pawn e5, right, Vidit? Right? You just got to get in it. You got to be in it to win it, my man.
Bishop e6.
Bishop e6, queen e4, so I can always escape the...
Yeah, knight c5.
Ah, you're devious.
But no, it's not so cool. Okay,
I like white position.
Matter. Yep, simple to play. Go knight g5.
Yep, knight g5 or bishop g5. Oh wait, now don't put any piece on g5. It's sacrificing or losing a piece, I should say. And now rook e1, overprotecting the e5 pawn. The annoying thing here is how to actually make progress. Knight h2 to g4 is one opportunity.
I would play g4 directly. Knight d5, queen c1. Okay.
Yeah.
No need to panic.
You saw it though. You were quick to see how to win the bishop. You love the bishop pair so much.
Yes, that's why okay. I like bishop pair, yes.
Were you about to make a pun?
No. I already did it, so.
Okay.
Now I lost my confidence.
You lost your confidence, you said?
Yes, I lost my confidence.
Okay, I'm just checking. Wanted to make sure. I'm sorry that you lost that. Hopefully you regain it. F4 is coming to kick his bishop off from g5 and start an attack on the king. So maybe with a g5, g6, just thrusting the pawns down the board.
I would have played rook d2, just get the rook on the 7th rank.
Yes, and then the queen could have slid over to f8 for the defense. Here comes g5 and g6. And Ellie, she's up a lot of time here. The queen on d3 can't go to f5 without knight. Ooh,
bishop
boy.
c5.
Oh boy. Yeah,
she should play at least g6. Why is she not taking g6? That was weird.
Right. She's trying to question where this queen is going. Oh,
yeah, no, h5. He's greedy.
Oh,
greedy.
He's playing this perfectly. And this is going to be sad. Starts with bullet. Queen g6 for sure. Knight g4 just to keep the queens in the board. Yeah, rook d3 played. This is no fun.
Yeah, this is really not fun. Has there been a match in this championship which has gone really down to the wire?
Yes,
or it has been...
Alina Kashlinskaya against Krzysztof Zielecki was the final game. It was 12-11 in Alina's favor, and she won the final game to win 13-11.
That was close.
Yes, extremely. It was a really well-played match. Definitely our best played match, I would say, of the opening round of the IM GM Speed Chess Championship. But the action's just getting underway here. This is the 5th of 8 first-round matches, and this is about to be another victory for Eric Rosen with queen d2 check. I guess queen g1 is mate in 1. Why am I even going queen d2? So mate in 1 on the board. I didn't miss the mate in 1. At first, I did vid it. I was just trying to make you feel better about you missing mate in 1s, and then I found it.
Those days are behind me.
Well, I wish you the best. Don't play bishop g4 here. Just a reminder for people, bishop g4 is when bishop takes f7 check. So that's why you don't play that so early.
Castles, d3, f5, go for it.
Yeah, you castle, play d3, queen e1, queen h4.
Did he disconnect?
I don't know.
Oh, no, he's dead. No, he was thinking for like 6 seconds. That's like an eternity for bullet.
C4 is something that I'm not used to. Queen E1, I like it.
Yeah.
Bring that queen to H4.
C4 is so weird, by the way.
Yes.
I would never play C4.
I agree. Queen H4.
D4. Yeah, you could go D4 as well. Or Queen H4 is nice, yeah.
But it took him
Already
so
likes
much.
Yeah,
It's been
he's
11
taking time.
seconds.
Doesn't matter. Look at the score. Like 7 points. It's too much.
Oh, no.
Too much to record.
I know the score. I'm
Yeah.
not dismissing that, but just in the perspective of playing a good bullet game, he's using a lot of time, and I think that Ellie is playing this one well. But she is down 7 points, 8 points. Wow, with 21 minutes of the match clock.
Mm-hmm.
And
so is it like the first upset of the, like, if you consider the seeding, could it be the first upset of the tournament?
Yes, indeed.
95. Now he's just having fun. F6.
F6 probably. Oh no, that looks sad. Can you go queen
That's
F6
sad.
here?
No,
Bishop
rook E7. Rook E7 and rook E1.
And you bishop takes A5 at the end.
Yep.
Bishop E6. Bishop E6.
Queen D4.
Oh.
Bishop E6, I had queen D4.
You're right. But I was just hoping that it would work out for me.
I think queen C2, go for it. Doesn't matter. Just play it. Doesn't matter if it works or not. Go for it.
She's just taking all the pawns in the position. Knight B3, I guess.
Like, I think, in this few seconds, she has to put more pressure.
Yeah. So, okay, he's gobbling up some pawns. He may be down in exchange. Bishop A5. Rook D7, has to. King takes D4, but queen C4 would have traded queens. This also should be good. Queen E3 check, and then just convert the ending. Okay, rook E2, obviously a good move. Queen G3 threatens me, but watch out.
Play queen E3. Play queen E3, please.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Bishop C4.
And just win the D5 pawn. That looks very good. Bishop D3 to E4.
Very good move. Yeah. Yeah. Knight G6, good move. Bring knight to F4.
And now white is totally stuck. A5, you want to play, so she moves the king around. A5.
Whenever it's a pawn race, I get nostalgic, and I feel not in a good way.
I'm sorry that you're remembering bad times. Here comes the A pawn. A3, A2, A1. Can't stop me. But look at this H pawn.
No, I cannot take it. No more fun, please.
H7.
Please.
Queen F8.
Please, no.
Oh my gosh, Knight G6 is a go put the king on H6.
F4 check. F4 check. Yeah, F4 check.
You're getting Knight F7, F4. You still have F4.
Oh god.
You're getting so nervous.
Yeah, I just don't like unnecessary trouble,
Right. And now she's
stalemate. Don't get stalemated.
Please, no stalemate. We've already seen that happen.
He resigns. Thank you, Eric.
Yes. And that was, just a nod. Okay, you got me in that one. That rook takes C3 move with the A pawn running free was a good tactical idea. And we have this.
There was like a match between Duda and Grishuk, and Duda was like 3 points down in the bullet section, and then he won like 3 games in a row, like almost the last 3 games, and then he even won the 4th game and he made a comeback.
Yep.
So it would be interesting if at least the match comes close, that would be a lot of fun, like at least close down the distance. It would be fun to see that.
Yeah, that would be, but it's a pretty big margin right now, 7 points, but there's 17 plus minutes remaining. That's, if you win quickly a bunch of games, it can happen, but if the games take a long period of time.
Very unlikely. Yeah, very unlikely.
Of course, but so far she keeps playing this, this setup here, D4, move your knight, F4, G4, F5. That's what you have to do. Just go. Okay, where's that knight going?
C4? Why would you play C4?
I mean, you're asking questions I don't have the answer to. G4. This is also good. Look at the bishop on B7, totally useless. And so then white is just going to push pawns on the king side.
Bishop
Bishop
G3, G5 or G6, whatever. G6.
Yep.
G5, you don't need to do
F4.
anything about it. Yeah. G5 was bad.
Rook F1, F4, etc. Just
look how fast she has been playing, by the way. She has 54 seconds.
Well, she, a draw and a loss are the same thing, so she just has to play very quickly and win the game. That's all that can be said. Queen F6 will be a really annoying move, by the way. Okay, she took, and now Rook F1 and pile of pressure on F7, but it's not over. It's far from it. How do you actually make progress here?
Good question.
Maybe play
it's a fortress.
Bishop E3, King G3, and sack the bishop on G5, but that looks ridiculous.
Yeah, white should play Rook F6 for sure.
Rook F6
play
now.
Rook F6.
Yeah, you have to play Rook F6. Rook F6. Okay.
Now he got the hang of it. How to do it. Oh, Bishop G6. Bishop G6. Go.
Oh,
Bishop
that's
G6.
beautiful.
Go
that's
Bishop
so
G6.
Beautiful. Bishop G6 is so nice to remove the defender.
Please play it.
Bishop G6 is amazing.
Please play Bishop G6.
She's thinking, Rook F2. Now Bishop. No!
It will be threefold reputation if you do it too. Oh, it's a draw. I told you. I'm so frustrated.
Oh, man. Wow. I wish I knew what to say. Yeah, Vida, do you have anything to say?
Play Bishop G6. That's what I have to say.
Besides that,
Bishop to G6.
Hey, Vida, am I going to get you to listen to Saddleman later?
Sorry, what?
Have you read what's on my T-shirt? It's a Saddleman. It's a band. They're very good.
So
I'm going to get you to listen to them later. I'm going to send you the music.
Okay. Awesome.
They're everywhere. You can find them on the normal channels, but Saddleman, that's the good stuff. So I'm just trying to think of things that make me happy because this match has been hard to witness, honestly.
Yep. I need to really watch something to get a mind of it. White has a very good position.
Yes.
Okay, it's already probably lost.
Rook A6, throwing Rook takes C6, go for tactics. No, Rook F3 is better.
Oh, Bishop H6.
Oh, he's going for it. Excuse me, he's white this game. Bishop A5, no.
No, Knight H6, 1-0.
Oh.
Knight H6, 1-0.
Yes.
Please play Knight H6.
Knight H6.
Use that tactic. Yeah, okay, fine. It happens. Thank you.
See, these moments, he's finding these tactical shots. And
it's easier to do it although. Like when you're up on
the score?
Yeah, when you're up on score, yeah.
Well, that ended that game. Check to the king, force to the corner, Rook F8 was hanging with mate. And this is what's tough is when you're playing these matches and you can't just resign. You have to keep going even though the match score is so lopsided. Yeah. I'm very surprised by this match score though.
Yes, I agree with you. It's been a crazy match to be honest. Like so many ups and downs.
Yes.
Usually, I think one of the highest. At least it's more ups and downs than the match with Tanya, which I commentated earlier. I think there it was more clear.
Indeed. And there's piled up pressure now on this knight on F3. Bishop G5, for instance, for white would have kicked this knight out. Bishop B5 also bringing the bishop to the rescue.
Queen D7, Queen H3.
Queen D7 would have hung the queen. Oh my gosh, Vidit.
Queen C8, Queen H3.
Oh, I love it. You had the right idea of trying to bring the queen over, but you said Queen D7. Can't do that.
Okay, got it. Knight H5 is a cheeky move, by the way.
Oh, you would try something like that. Vidit's idea is if you take on H5, Queen H3 comes in, and then you have to stop mate on G2.
He does go for it. And Bishop G5, Knight F4. That was even like the trick number 2.
Trick number 2. Can you play Knight F5 here? Knight F5, Knight F5, Bishop H3. Oh, Knight E3. Whoops.
Knight H1.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst knight I've ever seen.
I think Knight on G3 is still better than on H1.
Oh my gosh, that knight can't move. Oh, that hurts to look at. King H2. Play King H2, Bishop E2, Rook Bishop E2. No, not Bishop G2.
The king is stalemated.
Oh my gosh. What is this configuration here?
Rook G6. Play Rook G6 and Rook G2. Doesn't matter. Everything is lost.
Oh, this hurts to look at.
Yep.
Oh,
Queen F3. Play
yeah,
for
Queen
draw.
F3 is excellent.
It's a draw though.
I don't know what to say, Vidit.
Yep.
So Rook E5, for instance, bring that Rook into the attack. Okay, this is at least an ambitious try, but at least she's up quite a bit of time. F4, just go. Just got to go.
Yeah, you have to play F4. F4.
F4 is not happening. Oh, there it is. And now what?
E5 or something.
Queen F3. Black is trying to make progress here, but there's also the potential your position collapses and the queen sides are like.
What is Rook D1? No idea. E5. Go for it. E5, D6. Push. What is doubling on this?
I no longer have answers to your questions.
Me neither.
Okay, so E6. Let's see, what now? The queen on F6, E7, Rook F1, Rook F1. Rook F1. There was a problem with this queen and the Rook on H4. Okay, so it means Rook takes E7, take
Rook
that pawn.
E7. You take Rook E7.
H4. No, don't trade queens.
King F7.
Vidit, I'm out of good ideas. I really am.
Yeah, me too, man. I have no. Yeah. I feel exhausted for some reason. I don't know why. It's like
me too. But I think there's the emotional weight of
the emotional weight. Yeah.
Watching this match. What?
Sure.
Well, it actually is a move, right? Because if you play knight
King
F5,
King F6 is horrible.
Isn't King E6 the move?
King F6 is
Bishop G5
terrible.
Check. Bishop G5.
Oh, Bishop G5 is nice, but Queen F3 is mate.
Yeah, but Bishop G5 is cooler.
Oh God.
Queen D5.
Queen D5, Bishop G5.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch it.
Oh, no.
He's now repeating. Yeah, he's trying to show who's the boss. Not cool. Not cool.
The Sassy.
He did a Sashi there.
Sashi would always repeat, right?
What is Bishop F4? Why?
Well, there's discoveries on this king.
Yeah, but Queen D5, Bishop G5 is finished on the spot.
Some people, they don't see every single tactic. Other people are you.
Anyways, like king on D6, there is no hope.
Yeah, the king on D6 doesn't look very safe, I must admit. Well, Mr. Vidit Gujrathi. Oh.
Queen F6 mate. Queen F6 mate.
Oh, I wouldn't see that. If I'm Eric, I'm not seeing that. It's too hard. Oh, he found it.
You're joking, right?
He found it. I mean, Queen F6, of all the checkmates, that's not the square you expect to checkmate your opponent on. You look at knight discoveries, you look at the D5 square, and then it worked. So we're back in this Nimzo Larsen. And okay.
Don't take on G7.
Nope. But now that's a threat.
Knight F6, yeah.
Yep. And then just develop for white.
Or would you play Queen F? Oh no. Yeah.
So, Mr. Vidit.
Yep.
Let's talk about that daily question a little bit, because the question was if streaming has a negative or positive effect on the quality of your chess. You just did really well in the recent Title Tuesday. You kicked my butt on stream in Bullet Chess and in our Blitz and Bullet match the other day as well. No surprise, you are the stronger player between us. But what has streaming been like for you? Because usually you're competing in high-level events and traveling around the world playing chess. Now you have more downtime on your hands because of this unfortunate pandemic. You're streaming you're still playing very strong players on the internet. What's it been like for you?
I would say, like, from my experience, I've been streaming for like 7-8 days. All the people who have come to watch have been just extremely supportive and sweet. Yeah. So big shout out to everyone who's watching even now and the chess community, because they've been so supportive. I love it. So I remember when I was playing the title Tuesday, like with every good game, they were like cheering and they're just supporting so much. So I love that. And I really enjoyed that. So for me, the streaming experience has been great. Uh, and when people are like so nice, you feel good, and if you win, it feels just a very positive experience so far. And also you get to catch so many moments on camera, like some funny things happen in Bullet or Blitz, like that stalemate, for example. Yeah, it's caught on camera when you're streaming, and that instant reaction, spontaneous reaction, all this stuff, it's just exciting.
Yeah,
I love it.
I saw people asking about your channel. I put in there, Vidit Chess is your channel. And if I'm not mistaken, you just became a partner. Is that right?
I became an affiliate.
Okay.
I have to stream like still a couple of more hours to become a partner. But I have not become affiliate because I have to do some procedure and the link is not working, something like that. But I think it should be done soon.
And what are your plans for streaming like in the in the upcoming weeks or days?
My plan is to actually almost stream daily. I'll play probably the World Nations Cup. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
From 5th May. So until then, I'll stream and practice some Blitz or Bullet. I'm planning to have more matches like you joined. Maybe with I had with Aryan Tari yesterday some bullets. So I'll invite more grandmasters on my stream, and maybe we can have a rematch if you're up for it someday, and that would be fun.
Nice. There was a nice tactic, by the way, just knight takes c2, because if the rook takes on c2, the g pawn queens. But yeah, of course, I'd be up for it. And this, FIDE Nations Cup, which Chess.com is also hosting, many strong grandmasters in the field. So how are you preparing for? It's a rapid event, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's 25 plus 10. It's 25 plus 10, and it will be different than rapid. Like usually online, it's 15 plus 10 or 10 plus 10 on Pro Chess League. So 25 plus 10 is already more serious, So I'll be working, doing the usual stuff, checking openings and stuff like that. Also, the teams are extremely strong. I mean, if you see the lineup, everybody's like 27 plus, 2700 plus. It will be a very strong tournament. So I'm laughing now, but, I could be on the other end if I don't work. So I have to work and stop my pun game and work on chess.
Well, we've been asking the players in pre and post match interviews about their preparation for these matches. How.
By the way, sorry, is it like did he win like 9 games in a row? Just
because she's 1.5 in the bullet portion, so she won a game somewhere along the way.
Okay.
But what I was going to ask you,
something?
Wait, knight f4.
Yeah, bishop f4, bishop c4.
Oh, that's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah.
But Vidit, so we asked the players how they prepare for these matches. How are you preparing for this FIDE Nations Cup? Because it's on Chess.com, right? It's an online event, but it's super serious in the sense that your opposition on the other teams includes the very best players in the world. Hikaru Nakamura is playing, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, Jan Nepomniachtchi, Levon Aronian. How do you prepare for the various opponents that you might face?
Well, I think when you're 2700, you have to really work on openings. That plays the main part, and all the top players do that. But one of the things which I'm doing differently than other tournaments is play more on Chess.com to really get used to the interface, mouse skills. Like when you get down on time, it's very different to have like 10 seconds over the board and 10 seconds online. It feels a lot more online. But over the board, in 10 seconds, you panic.
Right. So, you're working on your openings, it sounds like. You don't need to work on your bullet skills, if you ask me, because I saw those firsthand. And are you nervous at all? Be honest.
Nervous for what?
For the tournament.
Not really. Not really. It's a fun tournament. Like, I look at it more like an exciting opportunity than nervousness.
I like that.
Also,
approach.
the timing is great because like whenever the tournaments begin, it's usually starts in Indian time like 10 o'clock. Like now it's like way past midnight. It's 1 a.m. in India, but the timing just works fine. It will be in the evening, so I just have to play well. That's all.
Okay, I like it. You seem confident, you seem ready, but you're also taking it very seriously and will be
because the opposition is really strong. So it's like no walkover, yeah?
Right, you're not playing me, is what you're saying. So you actually have strong opposition that you take seriously.
Yeah, all the Blitz experts like MVL, Naka, all of these guys are going to play. So it will be very tough tournament. And one of the things is very cool. It's an team event, and it will be like India versus Europe. So I love that. Like you're rooting for some team. For fans also, I think it's very exciting that way. Isn't it? Like, don't you think it's more exciting to watch team events?
Yeah, I think it's great. But that's sort of what I was also going to ask is, does that put more pressure on you because you're representing your country and you're also on a team? So if you lose the game, it's not just your loss. It could make the team lose the match. So does that feel like additional pressure?
I mean, of course, if you lose and it can happen, but no point of worrying about it. It's not in your control. So, and also you said, what are your plans? I'm thinking like after my games, probably I'll come on my channel and like, explain the games, do some small commentary on that. Something like that. That could be exciting.
I think the fans would love that. And we are in our final game of the match. So if this
is the final game?
This is the final game. We've been able to hear your thoughts. So we appreciate that, of course. And well, after this game concludes and we take our short break, we will bring the players back on for an interview just to hear their thoughts. And well, I'm sure one of the players is very happy that the match is well, both are happy the match is over for very different reasons.
Yes, that's a good way to put it, I must say.
Yes. Rook G4, Rook G2, Bishop G6 checkmate. Watch out for stalemate tricks though. King H5. Just give up your bishop. Bishop G3. Oh.
G6.
Yeah. Checkmate on the board, and IM Paehtz wins the final game of this match. Of course, IM Rosen has won by a huge margin of 10 points. We will return in just a few with an interview with the players, hear their thoughts, and wrap up this show. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back. Ellie and Eric, thank you so much for joining us and for that match. Congratulations to you, Eric. And Ellie, I'm sorry, we have to start with you. Do you feel like you really lost that match in the third game when Eric swindled that stalemate?
Well, to be honest, actually, like when I'm playing Blitz and I'm a queen down, I'm always resigning. And actually, I was so irritated that my opponent suddenly didn't resign, but I'm not used to play like kind of online chess. So for me, like always, it's very usual to resign. And then I was irritated, why is he not resigning? And I think by this thought, I was so much irritated that I just blundered it in a way. And I mean, like, I'm not an online player at all. And just like for me, it is so unusual in a way that, okay, whenever I was a queen down or something, for me, it was the most normal thing to resign because I didn't even see that there is a chance. But obviously, this is a wrong thing. Probably in online chess, you should play until the end. That's what I learned from this match. And I got quite much irritated by this. But I think now, I mean, like, since I saw how much games Eric won or saved this way, probably I should adapt this kind of thing because it's actually a smart move to play till the end.
Yeah, and Eric, on your end, is that sort of your philosophy, never resign?
Of course, there's situations where resigning is acceptable, but I mean, growing up, my coach had a rule for me, just never resign, and it's amazing like how many games can be saved when the opponent thinks that it should just be over, and then all it takes is one careless mistake. So I've had my share of these sort of comebacks. I've been on both ends of it too, so that's part of the game.
Yeah.
So. Ellie, where do you think the match went away from you? Because it was 2.5. Like no, even after the stalemate,
when I lost this ending with a piece up, or like with his c6 pawn and g6 pawn, that was the final cut when actually I lost the match. The stalemate was still okay, but then actually after this match, it was over for me psychologically.
Yeah, it must be very tough to like play after that.
No, but I mean, like, I understood, like, even if I'm winning in almost all the games with 5+1, it doesn't help because at the end I'm blundering. So what can I do?
Right. And Eric, you were finding some really interesting defensive resources there. Is that something you are able to work on, or does it just happen in the flow of the game? You have a bad position. As you said, you grew up never resigning, always fighting to the very end.
Yeah, I think I'm just used to getting bad positions and trying to fend off attacks. As my style kind of growing up to be a lot more just conservative. And my coach, I had many coaches growing up who would just scold me for being too defensive. So I guess it's one of those things that I got more experience with. But it was incredible how many positions I was on the defensive, and I mean, a lot of the games come down to these time scramble situations where anything can happen.
Right. And Ellie, on your end, you were up on the clock in many of the games. Was that a concerted effort to just play extremely quickly, or did it just happen? Kind of the match went that way, so you were moving quickly and playing well in the opening stage.
Like that after I understood, like when I was winning the first game and suddenly I was down on seconds, I understood that I cannot handle the mouse.
Yeah.
Like to play with 1 second increment is not for me enough, like to handle it, and that's why I decided to play faster, because I knew that I would flag myself if I don't do that. Because okay, I'm not an internet player, I hardly play any games, and I understand whatever mouse you have, it doesn't help. I can't make a move within like less than 1 second, and that was the reason why I started to play fast, because I understood I need at least 20 seconds to mate him. If I don't have that, I will not make it in time. As simple as that.
Yeah. Vidit, any more questions for the players?
No, not really. It was very entertaining, and some of the games really got us on the edge of our seats. So thanks for that.
But at least, I mean, you're still too young to grow gray hair, so I think you'll be fine for a couple of years.
Well, I do have one final question. It's for you, Eric. In the next round, you move on to face Alina Kashanskaya. Have you learned something from this match that you're going to try to apply to the next one? And what do you think of playing a player like Alina?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too familiar with Alina. The first time I saw her play was this epic match against Chess Explained, and it was crazy to watch. So as far as what I learned from this match, I mean, I think time management is very important. And I mean, especially getting used to playing on the 1 second increments. It's very strange because on one hand, yeah, you want to stay ahead on time, but you also have to play good moves because I mean, a lost position is at least a very lost position is hard to save. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but it should be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Well, thank you to you both for entertaining the fans, for taking on this tournament. And Ellie, I'm sorry that the result went this way. Eric, congratulations and best of skill in the next round.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, we just saw what turned out to be a lopsided match. The games did not really go Ellie Paehtz's way, despite playing some very good chess in the early stages. Things went wrong. She went on tilt. Then the match ends heavily in Eric Rosen's favor. And he moves on to play Alina Kaslinskaya. And Vidit, let me ask you, based on Alina's play in the opening round, the tough match against Krzysztof Zielecki, and Eric's play in this match, what are your expectations in that second round battle?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't follow all the games of yesterday's match, but I did few games. And I know that Alina, she's an extremely solid player. It'll be a very close match, I feel. But one of the things was like Eric is very tricky. I saw today like so many saved, so many swindles, I would say.
Yeah.
One of the things which Eric could improve is, of course, the time management. He was getting low in many of the games. But yeah, it's very hard to pick a favorite now, I would say.
Yeah, and Alina has proven herself over the board where she drew Anish Giri and Vladimir Krumnik, the 2018 Isle of Man International. Yeah. Her husband, Radoslav Wojtaszek, stole the show by winning the whole thing, but her performance had many people mesmerized, including myself. I saw her crush Sam Sevian in the final round and have extremely good results against some elite players. So that matchup will be interesting. Eric Rosen has proven to be a tenacious defender who, even in the worst of terrible positions, still survived, and that is a very important skill set to have. It's not even luck; it is really skill to be able to pound your opponent to the very end.
Do you remember like the game where in this match where White played G3, King G2, and there was this Rook H1 mate ideas?
Yep.
And then he found this Queen B3, Queen A4. Like, he's very resilient when it comes to those kind of tactics. So that's definitely his plus point.
For sure. And, well, we do have a few more matches before that second round takes place, including tomorrow. Vidit, you will be with me on the call in my early afternoon with Kostya Kavutskiy taking on Lawrence Trent, the 8-9 seed matchup. And then, of course, the marquee matchup of the first round, the one that everybody around the world is waiting for, is Danny Wrench will have to keep his mouth shut and will have to let his moves do the talking against one of my best friends in the world, International Master Teddy Coleman. I will have the call at night with Daniel Naroditsky. So it's going to be a fun day for me with having both you and Danya join me for those.
Awesome.
And with that coming up, we have tomorrow's matchup first, so I will ask you for your predictions in the Teddy versus Danny matchup, but I will ask you to study their games because I want some super GM insight into who has the upper hand in that one. So, Vidit, any final thoughts about the match we just saw or anything you want to talk about? You want to shout out the fans? I know you love the fans across the globe.
Yeah, I mean, they were awesome. Like, I was checking the chat and I saw so many compliments throughout, and I love it. Like, they're being so supportive. So I'm new to Twitch and I didn't expect that it would be so awesome. So Love that. And thanks to you for being such a good co-host as usual.
Oh, well, you're being kind to me now. The puns are out the window and it's just your true feelings are being known. But I want to thank you again for joining me for this call. I want to thank everybody who's still with us, everyone who's with us throughout the show. We really appreciate your support. These events are hosted by Chess.com. There will be many more as we come back tomorrow for the action. So stay tuned for more chess. Be safe, stay healthy, and enjoy your Thursday wherever you are. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.